Yo, what's up? Hello. Yeah, dude, it's Friday, baby. What's up, Orange? What's up, Overflowing Pool? Speedy76, Blue Razor, Emletiri, Tyler Lover, Halab. One more chorus. Yeah, copyright. I do like System of a Down. What's up, Antocel Gabriella, Kevin, Ron? I can't read your name because it's Greek letters. I'm sorry. That's a failure on my part, not on yours. Rafa, what's up? Xplex, we didn't finish yesterday's prediction. Oh, I don't really care, but I guess you do. So, there you go. No, there's your points. Also, remind me I have to go live in 10 minutes. It's all made up, bro. What's up, Madness? Your boy Jordy. ZKR. D Framic. That's everybody. All right. I guess we should get started. Yeah, so today we are going to be watching a long-ass video. I'll get to that later because obviously I want to do an official intro for that segment. So let's very quickly, let's hop up into our freaking Clipper Skip thing. Let's do Clipper Skip first, as we are used to. Let's do that so we can warm up and wet our whistles. But then, yeah, we're going to watch a very long video. It's going to be a bit of a marathon today. So get your snacks, get cozy. It's gonna be a wild freaking ride, bro. Also join the Discord. What's up, Not Jacob? Low-key start one of these with the 9 Circle song. Not really taking requests. Not really. I'm gonna be playing GD while listening to this. I think that probably if there was ever a day for like the perfect background noise type stream where, you know, it's kind of like a freaking, what's the word? Like watching a movie. We're going to be watching a movie today. That's kind of cozy. What's up, Bacon Looter? Anyway, for the love of God, join the Discord if you haven't. Here you go. Here's the link. Join the Discord. Hop over to the Teach Clips channel. This one right here. And if you could do me a favor, every single stream, people clip clippable moments from the stream. If you vote scissors, that means you want me to watch it. If you vote this, it means that you don't want me to watch it. If this ever has the majority, I will skip the clip and we will watch the next one. So because of that, now that you understand how Clipper Skip works, let's play. This one won by 3. Or it won by 1. It was 3-2, so I'm going to watch it. Do we understand? Also, what's up, Ruby? What's up, SKW Slice? This is called This Doggy Guy. Wow, content creators really like talking about this doggy guy, right? I'm a part of the machine! Also, we reacted to this doggy's freaking February video yesterday, and I just want to say I think it's either at or almost at 1,000 views on YouTube. W clout chasing. W. So thanks for enjoying that video. You know, I put too much mustard on it. That's why Doggy's Doggy, and I'm lonely. Yeah, sure, that's a clip. That was a bit of a joke. I think that Doggy is known for being nonchalant, and if I'm known for anything, well, I'm not known for anything, but I am pretty much the antithesis to Doggy. I'm the most chalant streamer you will probably ever find under God's green earth. Or under the sun. Under the sun on God's green earth. Oh, wait, this is a skip. See, this is why voting's... Oh, well, now it's tied. I'm going to honor the skip. Because I think someone was faffing about. Yeah, I've been compared to Shakespeare. I like to shake my spear from time to time. No comment. Really out of context?
I'm a loser, man. I'm a loser. I'm still not good enough. I could just be deadlocked. Yeah, good job, dumbass. Good job, dumbass.
This wasn't me. This was out of context. I was clowning people who have negative self-talk. As someone who once had negative self-talk, I feel comfortable doing that. Because, you know, it's not like I'm stealing... What's the word? What's the word? Stealing liberty? Stealing valor. I'm not stealing valor. Have you still been speedrunning Celeste? Not even a little bit. Bro, you suck. Scroll. Dude, it's not that deep. Scroll. Bro, why are you so bad? Scroll. Dude, you suck. Scroll. My mom's been going through a really tough time at work, and she's opened up to me about it, and I really don't know how to process it. Also, I'm not doing too well at school right now. Scroll. Bro, you're stupid. Scroll. That was me doing another impression of Rage Baiters. What's up, Sans? So, chat, we're all warmed up. We're done with Clipper Skip, thank God. We're watching a very long video today. Actually, I'm just gonna jump into it, y'all. I quite honestly am just going to jump into it because I feel like if we do not get into this as soon as possible, it's going to be a problem. How hard Geometry Dash actually is, full analysis by Mdog5. This is a video that was recommended in my Discord, not once, but twice. And also a lot of people upvoted it. It's like the most requested video for me to react to. And it is 2 hours long. The longest video I've reacted to, I think, is maybe like, I think the Vernosis video is maybe like 30, 40 minutes. And on average, when I react to even just a 10-minute video, I end up yapping for 30 or 40 minutes. So I don't know how much I'm going to yap during this video. We're going to find out together if me reacting to videos this long is actually well-advised or not. Basically, that's all to say, if the video for this flops on YouTube and Spotify, I will probably never react to a video this long again. So you better hope. You better hope that algorithmically this video performs because... Or at bare minimum, hopefully this video is good. Like, I'm guessing that since it has so many views and it's so long, I haven't watched many videos that are 2 hours long on YouTube. I would suppose it is all gas, all killer, no filler. That is my hope. Also, before I jump into it, I do want to say, I think that this is just highlighting the difficulty of Geometry Dash. I don't think it's going to be gatekeepy. One of my least favorite things about games is when one member of a games community is like, my game's harder than yours. No, my game's harder than yours. I think that's annoying. So I just want to preface that if we reach a point in that video where I need to address that, I will, but I don't think that's what this video is doing. Therefore, if y'all are not Geometry Dashers, don't worry. I think this is just a deep dive on Geometry Dash. I don't think they're trying to say Geometry Dash hard and the game you play not hard. Make sense? Cool. Let's jump into the video. We really need to get into it.
The upper limit of Geometry Dash makes it one of the hardest video games that is out there. Arguably the hardest. Harder than any of the Souls games.
Okay, he does say arguably the hardest.
Harder than the hardest Mario Maker challenges. And even harder than the Five Nights at Freddy's Max Mode challenge list.
Okay, so what I just said was immediately refuted because now he said... Okay, never mind.
But let's listen. How hard is this game? How hard are the levels in this game compared to one another? And how does this compare to the difficulty of other popular games? We aim to figure it out in today's video. The first half...
Okay, yeah, so he did just say, like... we're going to be comparing these games. We're not necessarily arguing the merit of just one.
For this video, we'll be explaining the scale of difficulty in Geometry Dash, meaning we'll be showing how hard levels are compared to one another, from Stereo Madness all the way up to the hardest levels in the game. The second half will be me comparing the skill ceiling of Geometry Dash to other high skill ceiling video games and seeing where it stands. So sit back, grab some popcorn, and let's dive right into this.
Yo, that's what I told my chat to do. I told, yeah, yo, go get your popcorn, y'all. We're gonna be here a while.
Now, this video is made for people in the Geometry Dash community and also people who aren't in the Geometry Dash community. So to start off, I'm going to give just a basic understanding of what Geometry Dash is. If you already know, you can skip to the next timestamp. Now, Geometry Dash,
For the sake of the video and it being holistic in how I react to it, let's see his breakdown on what GD is. I'm curious. I know what GD is. I know what most people, I know that most people in my chat probably know what GD is, but what the heck? I like hearing people summarize stuff I already know. I think it's fun.
Dash is a game that has a huge range of levels. There are millions of uploaded levels onto the servers, all of which have varying difficulties. Some of these levels can be beaten by an average person quite easily. Others, however, go beyond the difficulty that most of the game's own player base can't even fathom. Now, there are 6 different main ratings in the game, aside from Auto, which is an automatic level which requires no input to complete. The main ratings range from easy, normal, hard, harder, insane, and demon. The demon levels,
I didn't even remember that. I mean, I've been playing the game for 3 months and it's kind of been like at a crazy fast clip of me like jumping from difficulty to difficulty. I still struggle to remember all the difficulties in this game. It's kind of crazy. It's crazy how much granularity, even within like, by the time you get into the demons, there's like unmeasured granularity to it, but even within like the actual measured documented difficulties, it's just kind of crazy, man.
have tiers of their own. So there's easy demon, medium demon, hard demon, insane
For Teej, it's all auto. He just stares at the screen and the inputs go automatically because of the aura. Basically.
demon, and extreme demon. Because extreme demon is the upper limit of difficulty with thousands of extreme demons, there's no surprise that extreme demons exist on a scale of their own.
Dude, I want to get there so bad. I can't wait till I get to Extreme Demons. What's up, Vernosis? Yeah, dude, I'm excited. This is a solid video. A lot of people want me to react to it. And to what Abu just said, yeah, it might be a 6-hour stream. Especially because we're 2 minutes in and I can't stop yapping. I got the yap gene. Yap, 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 yap gene.
But we'll get into that later. Geometry Dash has 8 main game modes with a ton of objects in the game, which changes the way you use game modes.
Sounds right.
The first is the cube, which just requires a simple click. It is usually used to jump over obstacles like spikes.
Technically, every game mode in the game requires a simple click. If you think about it.
And to gain height by jumping on blocks. The second is the ship, which you hold to gain altitude and release your input to decrease altitude at the same rate. Since the camera changes, the ship is usually used to make the player avoid spikes on the ground and ceiling, and anywhere in between. The next game mode is the ball, which simply rolls forward and switches gravity upon a click. The next is the UFO, which resembles the Happy Bird game by floating in the air and bouncing a certain degree with each input before heading towards the ground. Next is the wave, which travels diagonally.
This my favorite. I love the wave, bro. I love 9 circles. Honestly, the hardest part about how long this react's going to be today is I do really want to play 9 circles today. I freaking love that level. I want to learn more of the wave.
Upwards upon an input and loses that altitude.
Did he just call it Happy Bird? Maybe. I think it's okay. You can say stuff wrong sometimes, and I'm still okay with you.
At the same
my opinion.
Rate upon releasing. It is most people's favorite game mode, myself included. Then
I'm saying Mdog5, you know, just for that, man, liked and subscribed. Your video didn't even tell me to do it yet, but a fellow wave appreciator. That was a dap, but I didn't make eye contact.
There's the robot, which is basically like an animated cube which jumps higher and for longer, allowing you to hold the input instead of just clicking. There's the spider, which instantly teleports to the ceiling.
I feel like a spider's underrated, no chat? Like, I feel like ever since I played Skeletal Shenanigans, I've actually really been enjoying Spider. I really liked the spider on Skeletal Shenanigans, and I liked the spider on B.
or floor for each input. Finally, there is the swing, which travels in a curve upwards and downwards upon each input. The longer it goes unbothered, the faster it will travel either upwards or downwards. Now those
Swing, I just haven't, like, I think I've played it on Dash and Skeletal Shenanigans. I couldn't name, gun to my head, I couldn't name another level that I've played Swing on. I do not remember. Feel free to correct me.
are just the basic game modes. There are portals which invert your gravity.
I'm not sure if Swing sucks, but my perspective on it is I've simply, like, I haven't even played 10 levels that have Swing in it. I'm not allowed to have a formed opinion on it because I'm like a baby.
Or method of input. There's speed portals, which completely changes the difficulty and fundamental.
Hate these. I think these are fine when they're connected to a portal, like when they're actually in a transition. I hate these mid-game mode, bro. They mess me up because I'm bad at the game.
Nature of obstacles. There are orbs which you click on, which enact a certain physics alteration, and much more. With an extremely complex level editor, there are endless possibilities in terms of obstacles and combination of obstacles you can encounter. The editor is so expansive that you can even make your own mini game in Geometry Dash. So right off the bat, you have a bunch of game modes one needs to master or at least get comfortable with in order to progress most.
I mean, that's the beauty of it, right? Like, I know we talked about this a bit in the Rob Top video, but it's like the video or the game that Rob Top was inspired by to make Geometry Dash, that had the one like cube game mode, I think, right? The Impossible game or whatever. And that was what a lot of people in chat were talking about. They're just like, well, you know, he added all the new game modes in it. And I do think that that is to Geometry Dash's credit. I think that if it was just one cube game mode, it would be boring as hell. I think that, like, I mean, unquestionably, right? There's just so, it's cool how just like, because he said, what, 8 game modes? It's cool how with just 8 game modes, you can find such like depth of different flows to different levels and gameplay. It's pretty sick.
Levels in the game. But let's start off with Stereo Madness.
Oh, dude, taking me back, bro. Yes.
This is the beginning of our entry-level section, which is composed of levels that, in my opinion, any normal gamer can beat within a day or so. We're starting off.
Hey, yo, shout out everybody who took more than a day on Stereo Madness. It is okay. Everyone goes at their own pace. So in case anyone heard that just now and it took them more than a day on Stereo Madness, don't worry. You are loved and you are deserving of love.
With Stereo Madness. This is one of the easiest levels in the entire game and is the first level you are presented with, which makes it one of the most famous. The decoration is simple and doesn't affect the gameplay since it was made so early in the game's life. It can
Damn, bro, this guy put so much effort into this. Like, you can tell, like, I mean, obviously, like most like people who make like capital Y YouTube videos, they write their scripts, but you can just tell, like, I was not expecting that thorough of a breakdown on freaking Stereo Madness, bro. Bro, like he's like, you know, the meme where like someone's like writing on a piece of paper and like the pen's on fire. I took a week on Stereo Madness based. We stand an honest king, bro. Y'all, wherever you're at in the game, no matter how long it takes you, that's your journey, bro. You might take a week on Stereo Madness and like a day on Deadlock by the time you reach it. You never know. One person's obstacle is another person's breakthrough.
Series of cube spike jumps and teaches the player how to increase their height by jumping on higher
Got your popcorn,
platforms.
nice.
It then gives the player a light ship section where the goal is to not hit the ceiling or the ground.
Can we all just glaze Rob Top for a second? Because I know like sometimes I can be playfully combative. What a beautiful first level to a game. This might be a perfect introduction to like, hey, this is what this game's kind of like. Here's what you're going to come to expect. God. Stereo Madness is going to go down in history in my brain, bro.
Giving the player a lot of space in between. I distinctly remember my cousin, who's 12 now, but I remember when he was 3 years old on an iPad, and he literally sat while I was in karate in the waiting room, and by the time I was done with class, he had beaten Stereo Madness. The next level that we're looking at is Dry Out, which is the 4th level in the base game of Geometry Dash.
Yes, the first bottleneck. Historically, classically. I think, did Quinn play Dry Out when we raced, chat? Does anyone remember?
Comfortably say that this is twice as hard
You think that Mdog edited this video by himself? That's impressive.
as Stereo Madness, if not a little more. It introduces the invert portal, which is used only on the cube.
Quinn did? Nice. Yeah. Because I remember this was the first true struggle spot. It's because of the upside down, no?
In this level, at least.
Dry out with cinema always has been. I am speaking. I need more coffee.
It also has noticeably tighter ship gameplay, giving the player less lenience overall. Can't Let Go is the 6th level in the main game and is the first
This is the truth, dude. Can't Let Go. That's when like you learn this game's kind of got hands, man.
level to kind of spice things up in terms of difficulty. I'd be willing to say that this is twice as hard as Dry Out.
For sure.
This is the first level which doesn't really hold your hand, but rather tests you.
This is so fun. God, dude, this is a fun video.
It tests your sight readability, or your ability to react to what's in front of you without practice, and just based on your sight. It does this by mixing in a couple of triple spikes, giving you a dark section, which also inverts your gravity. Finally, the level tests your patience.
Dude, yeah, I forgot about this part. Because I think Quinn also played this, and he was like, bro, like this was the part he was really struggling with. Because I think he wasn't using practice mode, as I wasn't. I didn't start using practice mode till I was on, what was it? Clutterfunk. But when we were racing, eventually Quinn had to use practice mode because this part was just giving him too much trouble. For the race.
Patience, in the sense that you now have to time your jumps to make sure you aren't jumping too early. In the previous levels, there wasn't
I set an alarm for 2 a.m. my time to watch this stream. Unbelievably based. Dap me up.
really any penalty for jumping too early unless it was completely unreasonable. Now you have to use your critical skills to determine when it isn't too early or too late to jump. I'd say the average gamer would be able to beat Can't Let Go within their first day if they're determined. Here's my friend playing the level.
Dude, the double screen.
There's no fucking way. Yo.
Now we'll get into small time and
That's a lore accurate depiction of Can't Let Go. Yeah.
which are main levels that I'd say one would have to put a couple of days to a couple of weeks of playtime in order to beat. Time Machine is the 8th level in the game.
Chat, I don't remember this level.
Time Machine is...
I beat this level. I don't... Wait, probably if I see it, I'll remember it.
It's notorious for being a jump in difficulty above the levels that came before it. Let's just say for consistency's sake that it's twice as hard as Can't Let Go, because
dude, I do not remember playing this level.
It definitely feels as much to me anyways. Yes, it introduces the reverse gameplay portal, but that is seldom used in online levels, which is what we'll get into later. Time Machine is difficult in my opinion because of the way it casually throws around triple spikes, has blatantly more difficult...
Dude, I don't remember this level at all, chat. What the hell?
And reverse cube sections, as well as you needing to make sure you don't jump too early in certain...
Maybe I've been playing too much Geometry Dash, dude. Oh my god. I didn't realize that I could reach a point where like I wouldn't recognize one of the levels I played. I actually feel pretty messed up about this right now.
Cases. Us GD players often overlook the difficulty in Time Machine, but to a new player, for instance, this is the first level.
Okay, I actually that segment that just happened.
The difficulty in Time Machine, but to a new player, for instance,
this is familiar. Maybe it's just because of like all my pattern recognition in the game. Like it's harder to pick out like patterns that you've just seen like 1,000 times, right? But this looks familiar.
This is the first level I would say one would have to actually grind in order to beat. The next level I want to point out is Cycles. This is a bit harder than Time Machine, but not too
Cycles. Even Doggy struggles on Cycles.
much harder. This is because it introduces a new game mode, the ball. But honestly, the ball parts aren't too difficult in this level. It's again how the cube sections casually throws around triple spikes and obstacles which make you time your jumps on both ends of the spectrum.
Impossible timing.
Meaning making sure jumps aren't too early or too late. Then you have inverted ship gameplay sections, which requires an increase of skill to pass consistently.
Bro, yeah, doing this for the first time, that was tough, bro. This was tough as nails.
It also introduces the flipped to normal gravity concept with the ship, which is something you'll see a lot in online levels.
Oh my gosh.
W!
Let me see that work.
Ooh, 3 coins too?
I feel exhausted, but I feel like I achieved something great.
Yeah, because you did.
Electrodynamix. Let's get into the 15th level. Electrodynamix. It's a considerable step up.
Dude, no. Considerable step up is an understatement, bro. This, if Geometry Dash has any kind of like final boss to you dipping your toes out of the tutorial section of this game, it's this freaking level, bro. This level's got hands.
as I've skipped some levels in between cycles and this. Now, to make one thing known while I'm doing these scalings, I'm less so...
Oh, wait. Is he going in order? Because he skipped over Clutterfunk, right? I went in difficulty order, not in release order. So...
calculating the ease of which some people will be able to do this.
Secret demon? Yeah, that's what people say. I don't think it's quite an easy demon, but dude, it is a steep climb in skill from anything you've done up to it.
And rather a reasonable approximation of level difficulty compared to the other. Let's say someone who jumps from cycles to Electrodynamix, for instance, will have a harder time beating Electrodynamix than someone who has played all 14 levels leading up to Electrodynamix. I'm more so rating the difficulty of a level based on how complex the obstacles, clicks, and concepts that specific level holds. That being said, Electrodynamix is again a jump in difficulty. Let's say it's at least twice as hard as cycles and maybe a bit more.
That's valid.
As you can see, we are a couple of updates in the future, giving us new decorations and block designs. The most notable thing about Electrodynamix is the speed increase. Now, players will have to get used to increasing the speed and frequency of their clicks.
But we love going fast, right, chat? That's why we dash. We love going fast.
The cube sections aren't that bad compared to what was previously shown, especially if one were to play the levels in between cycles and Electrodynamix.
It is crazy seeing these Rob Top levels and just realizing how much slower they are than the higher level demons that I've already played. It's crazy.
Picks up is the speed.
Because when I was playing them, it felt like, you know, and now it's just like, boop, 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 boop. Boop, boop. But that we talked about that a million times on stream. That's just the what is it, hedonic treadmill of humanity. Like, you just adjust to stuff so fast. It's crazy.
Speed increase in the ship sections, forcing the player to develop a decent amount of control over the ship. This is because the level now forces you to curve your ship movements, swaying up and down to dodge obstacles. Then there's the UFO, which you must have a baseline understanding of how...
Dude, yeah, this part, oh my god. This part low-key feels like an easy demon.
It works in order to comfortably get past the section. And then there's the triple speed sight read testing towards the second half of the level. You're now able to jump over...
Oh yeah, dude. Dude, Electrodynamix is so hard.
Quad spikes, which shows the concept of how speed fundamentally changes your gameplay, as it's basically impossible to clear a quad spike on the default speed. Electrodynamix really tests...
When I was 12, I would write emails to Rob Top saying to rate Electrodynamix as a demon.
Player, forcing a new player to actually practice.
I know a lot of people feel that passionate about it, but that is insane.
Learn the level before playing it from 0% and remember the parts. This is because the sight reading is on a whole new level, and overall, this level tests you in ways you haven't been tested before. Here's YouTuber Koryex Kenshin beating Electrodynamix.
Yes! Oh my gosh!
Same. Another lore accurate reaction to beating Electrodynamix. Feel that.
Hexagon Force
also W Legend of Zelda shirt
is the player's first run-in with awkward gameplay, which, surprise surprise, is a thing a lot of online levels have. Just wait until you start playing map packs. This level introduces slow
map packs. What are map packs again, chat? I have never played them.
slopes and
I'm afraid of when I hear phrases I don't know.
duels. Dual ships, dual balls, and dual cubes. The slopes make gameplay feel less natural, and with the need to not click
Don't play them ever. We don't talk about map packs.
on some and click on the peak of others, it can get
They are hot garbage. That's what they are. Okay, well, that's what my chat's saying. If you're watching the video right now, get in the comments. If you have a different opinion on map packs, get in the comments.
confusing. Also, you have to be aware of how each duel interacts, specifically by dodging obstacles with one cube, waiting a split second for it to reset, then dodging the obstacles with the other game mode. Even though they have the same obstacles, for the reason previously mentioned, technically the first duel a player ever encounters is asymmetrical, which are more complex than symmetrical duels.
But dude, I love Hexagon Force. God, Hexagon Force was my first love. Y'all remember when I was playing through the Rob Top levels and for the longest time, people would ask, what's your favorite level? And I was like, Hexagon Force? That was my answer for a long time, dude. A long time.
Which this level also has. Other than that, the
God, this level's so base, dude.
other parts are pretty mild. A lot of people are split in terms of which one is more or less difficult between Electrodynamix and Hexagon Force. I personally think they're close, with Hexagon Force being a bit harder, but let's just say the same because
I think I did Hexagon Force before Electrodynamix. I think that Electrodynamix is harder, but I did fluke Hexagon Force a bit.
my poll definitely disagreed with that. I say this because I think a player needs the same amount of prep and practice with both Electro and Hexagon Force.
That's valid. I do think they're similar. I do think they're like, when they were pitched to me, when like I asked my chat, like what the next levels I should play were, people said either Hexagon Force or Electrodynamix, and I just arbitrarily picked Hexagon Force. I do think there's similar difficulties. I think it is like 6 in one hand, half dozen in the other. Either way, you're going to have to experience a skill jump, right?
Force. And now we're getting into the big boy levels. These are called demon levels, which is a kind of difficulty we are
Club step, toe 2, deadlocked, peak.
Except I don't like Toe2.
yet to go over. It isn't stated.
Fight me. Don't actually. If you like Toe2, that's fine. I don't like that level at a bit. Not even a bit.
But all of Rob Top's demon levels so far are quote-unquote easy demons. I'd say a new player needs at least a few weeks to a month of playtime in order to gain the skill to
Clubstep was a movie, dude. I rewatched my short of me beating Clubstep, and I was like, that's right. I screamed hug top, go bottom. That was probably one of my coolest clears, bro.
beat one of these levels.
Not gonna lie.
With even a couple of months of playtime being considered normal. Anyone who beats these levels are dedicated
Wait, a couple months of playtime? It took me like a few days, no?
Geometry Dash players who know and are comfortable with the basic mechanics. Club Step is the first level we're going to be looking at, which the game doesn't even allow you to play unless you have 10 secret coins, which, to be fair, isn't that hard to obtain. I'd say it's about 50% harder than Electrodynamix. The main challenge is the learny nature of the level and the ship.
That is the hardest thing about, like, once you get to, like, the main level demons. I mean, there are a few, like, I think on average, usually every level before it has, like, one kind of learny part. But the game from here on out is just like, all right, dude, time to jump into practice mode and learn. I hope you liked school, bro. It's time to go into frickin' study hall and learn.
Control. It tests your fundamental ability to control the ship while it is in normal gravity
I don't like Clubstep. I love Clubstep. I think it's a great level.
and inverted gravity. There are also UFO sections that just require raw skill, patience, and the proper execution of the click pattern. Finally, there's a difficult ending compared to the rest of the level, which tests the player's nerve.
Deadlocked is so fun to replay. Yeah, in my opinion, Deadlocked is just head and shoulders above both Clubstep. I mean, I don't like Toe2, but it's like head and shoulders above both of them. Like, it's the best of the main level demons, and it's not even close.
Which again is something
Like if I had to choose which main level demon I could go back and replay, and I had to like evaporate the other two, hands down, I picked Deadlocked.
common in
And it's like frame one, I say that. I don't have to think about it.
online levels, especially hard ones. Already, we're at the level of other games. I personally think working up the skill to beat something like Clubstep is like beating an entire video game. The challenge of beating Clubstep itself is like beating a hard Souls-like boss, and yet we're at the tip of the iceberg.
I like that comparison. I think I've said that before in stream too. It does feel like playing Geometry Dash, playing a hard level, it feels like when you finally see all the moves of that Dark Souls enemy, you've learned their whole skill set, and you're just like, I see every single thing you do now, and I can read it before it happens. And I just beat you. Yeah, Consort Radon type beat.
When it comes to Geometry Dash, Theory of Everything 2. Theory of Everything 2 is the second demon in the main game. It requires 20 secret coins
This level is just, I don't like it.
in order for a player to unlock. It's about
If you like it, I'm happy for you. This is the first level in the game of all these levels I played up to this point. I genuinely was not having a good time on this level. Like, I genuinely was not enjoying playing the game.
10% harder than Clubstep in my opinion. So not too much harder, but much more complex. I mean, the level is called Theory of Everything for a reason. First off, The orbs are a lot less charitable in terms of
The song is pretty good, Rafa.
when you can click them and not mess up your trajectory into where you need to go. Again, a
I agree,
concept
Sense.
online. Yeah, you get it. It tests your fundamental competence with the ship by giving you tighter sections which casually change your gravity. The UFO sections are like the ones in Clubstep, forcing you to find and execute the click pattern. The ball gives you a memory section, and the new wave game mode appears again. This one takes a lot more learning than Clubstep does, and is another grind for those newcomers.
The frickin' 80% chip, dude.
Deadlock.
Salutes in chat.
This is the third
Yes, baby! Peak! When you start playing the game, this is the whole well, actually, a lot of people just full on skip the main level demons, which I do think is crazy. I do think if someone were getting into Geometry Dash, I would recommend for them, you should go through all the main levels. Because the progression of the main levels in terms of difficulty ladder is so satisfying, dude. I mean, I know people want to get into online levels as fast as possible, but I do think, like, I'm really glad that I played all the main levels before getting into online levels, because I feel like I wouldn't be able to appreciate each of the main levels as much as I am able to, because I put my head down and I worked all the way up through Deadlocked, beat Deadlocked, and honestly, that whole experience from front to back was one of my favorite gaming experiences of my whole life, and I have played tens of thousands of hours of video games. You know what I'm saying?
and so far final Rob Top Demon level. Deadlocked is meant to showcase one of the biggest updates in the game, Update 2.0. Therefore, a lot of new gameplay concepts have been added, such as the robot, the green orb.
Imagine if you had to complete all the main levels to unlock online levels. It would be cool if that was like an option you could toggle on. Like that, like just like not to completely gatekeep people from being able to play it, but just like if you want that little gamification in your game, you can like flick the switch and then it's like, ooh, and there's like a little progress bar or whatever. I mean, someone could easily make a mod for that, right?
Teleportation portals.
In my mind, that's what I self-imposed on myself, right? I was like, I don't get to play an online level till I beat these. And that was really satisfying. I would recommend it. You don't have to do that. But if you haven't beaten all the main levels yet, or like you're super early on in the game, I would recommend doing that before doing online levels, because that was really fun.
And moving objects, just to name a few. Out of the 3 Rob Top Demons, this is widely known and accepted as the hardest one, with a GDDL rating of 5, meaning Geometry Dash Demon Ladder, which tracks the difficulty of demons of the same rating. I think it's useful for easy all the way up to entry-level extremes, and then the demon list does a better job of rating the difficulty from there. The pre-drop isn't anything too bad, just a bit harder than Theory of Everything 2's pre-drop, but the same concept of memorizing which orbs won't do you harm.
Dude, it's just like you know that YouTube channel, Every Frame a Painting, where they like break down movies and they're just like, they set up this shot, it looks so cool. Maybe some people know that, maybe you don't. Every inch of this level, I wish I could tattoo it onto my brain. I love it so much. I could look at it every single day.
And such is still present. Then the drop wave is a big step up.
It's freaking très magnifique. Would you react to non-GD videos as well? Absolutely. That's the plan. I would love to react to any kind of video under the sun. Y'all drop videos on my Discord. Y'all upvote it if you think it's a video that you want to see me react to. We'll send it.
Up from anything prior. A triple speed wave corridor.
Deserve deadlock glaze? I
which
love it.
Then inverts your click pattern, then reverts it for a ship transition. I mean, after doing this and beating the level in almost 2 times speed, I'm used to it, but I can only imagine how hard this concept is to those first coming across it. Then you have the ship and UFO with moving objects. You get your feet wet with teleportation portals by learning the click pattern of the mini ball. Then you come across an easier cube and robot section. After this is a fiery cave section, which first forces you to demonstrate competence with the tight ship and inverted ship gameplay, mixing in the teleportation portals. Then there's a boss fight, which requires you to dodge laser beams from an otherwise spacious UFO section. Then there's the infamous dual wave at the second drop, and then a memory.
Yeah, I mean, learning that wave section, that was like, I mean, I think there's no way to cut that. That is a lot of people just like sitting down, locking in, and you're just putting the reps up, right? You're putting the weight up.
Ship section. The level then dies down and ends off easy.
You sent a 3-hour video? All right, man. I mean, I'm down to send it. We're gonna have to see how this freaking 2-hour video performs first in the algorithm, you feel me?
Deadlocked is a good...
But I'm up for it. If the algorithm likes these longer React videos, I'm up for it.
50% harder than Club Step.
The heart is willing. The cold, hard algorithm overlord that we all worship, I have to see what it thinks of it.
For reference, Club Step is a tier 3 easy demon on the GDDL. So those are the main levels. Of course, not all of them. I didn't include those that I didn't think posed a significant jump in difficulty or taught new mechanics. Once a player moves on from Rob Top levels, they're probably either going to map packs or gauntlets. Please don't do...
Which is funny because I did neither. I immediately jumped into online levels. But that's because, again, as a player, I'm addicted to the new hardest. I just like... I love it. I love pushing my limits. I feel like not pushing my limits is a waste of my time. It's okay if you play games and like map packs and gauntlets or whatever for fun or whatever, or like if that's intrinsically challenging to you. I just like sending new hardest, bro.
Map packs. Map packs are a pack or collection of 3 user-created levels.
Yeah, Everno says, watch time is king. We'll see. We'll see. I'm managing my expectations.
Each pack is of varying difficulty and offers stars and secret coins once beaten. The incentive behind doing these is that they give you extra secret coins, which allows you to unlock different icons. But because this feature...
Like when I tell you I've never even seen this screen of the UI before, I am not lying.
...was introduced to the game over a decade ago, they consist of old GD levels, which aren't really that good gameplay wise. Remember when I was talking about awkward gameplay? Basically all of the levels are of such and of old themes. The silver lining is that it gives the player a decent amount of experience with sight reading.
Getting the courage to play map packs is challenging.
Memory, practice.
Why? Because is it just because people don't like them, or is there like something else to it? Like, I don't know. I still don't really, I feel like I don't really understand what map packs are
should
still.
remain untouched.
W 100 bits from Sands.
A level and even just raw skill is something that most of us have been through, but the more ideal way to go for new players today are the gauntlets. Like map packs, the gauntlets are a collection of user created levels, but this time holding 5 each, and the difficulty of levels within the gauntlet varies a bit more than they do in map packs. Instead of secret coins, they just flat...
Okay, so you're all just kind of saying that's annoying gameplay. I'll take your word for it. Again, get in the comments if you disagree.
Out give you icons, colors, and even depth effects. Unlike map packs, these levels must also be completed in a specific order. This brings us to Sidestep, which I think is about 20% harder than Deadlocked. After a player beats Deadlocked, they're probably going to be drawn in towards the Demon Gauntlet, which holds 3 easy demons and 2 medium demons.
Wait, doesn't one of these have extinction? Didn't someone say that?
These levels, in my opinion, are harder than Deadlocked. The first of which is Sidestep. Sidestep, by its rating on GDDL, suggests that it is one of the hardest easy demons in the game and should actually just be a medium.
Oh, it's the Doom Gauntlet as extinction. Gotcha.
Demon. Gameplay over time sort of evolved to be more flowy, quote unquote, which means that there are several short segments of different game modes across smooth transitions. Deadlocked and Theory of Everything, for instance, you can identify individual parts. Because
yeah, now we're in the part of the video where we're broaching into stuff I've heard of Sidestep. I have never played Sidestep.
Each segment had a decent chunk of level time, like, oh, this is the first wave, and then it leads into the ship section, and then the ball section, and then the UFO. Flowy gameplay is more like ship, ball, reverse ship, wave, dual robot, 2 seconds of ball, 2 UFO clicks, invert ship. I hope I'm making sense. Sidestep.
I've never played a level like that. That seems like hell.
Although being rated the same at tier 5, is a decent chunk harder than Deadlock due to its learning nature. The way it throws you into inverted ships and inverted waves on the fly, having to learn that duel, and that ship that follows being harder than any section in Deadlocked.
Yeah, I mean, as a level I've never played, seeing it just then, that kind of looked like a hard demon. I'm not going to lie. I've only played a little bit of 9 Circles, but that kind of looked crazy.
Alright, so now you're a dedicated Geometry Dash player.
He said it. He said it, not me. I always have to gas myself up. Mdog5 said I'm a dedicated Geometry Dash player. Are you gonna respect the name?
Levels, I think you need at least a month to a couple of months of experience at the minimum in order to attempt, and even close to a year sometimes. We're going to be jumping straight into hard demons, as I personally think medium
Oh, Dear Nostalgia had flow gameplay? Oh, I guess it kind of did.
demons aren't a noteworthy step above easy demons in terms of difficulty. The most popular hard demon in the game is 9 circles.
Look down below, chat. Look at the level I'm currently playing. He said the word.
Sorry, Jonathan GD. It ain't Future Funk.
Not only is
I cannot wait to send full run attempts of 9 circles, bro. I love this level.
it one of the most popular hard demons, it's one of the most popular demon levels in the game. It started the 9 circles trend with its distinct pre-drop decoration and drop wave
Don't make Jonathan sad. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I haven't played Future Funk. I'm sure it's a great level.
epilepsy colors flash. 9 circles starts off with a decently tame cube section. It leads you into a tight ship section and a tight memory ball section. The drop wave is the most famous part of the level. For a hard demon, the wave section isn't that tight, but it's made up for by the fact that
Bro, it's pretty tight for me. For someone who's never been in there before, it's pretty tight for me.
visibility is not only poor, but impeding you due to the flashing colors. The level dies down with a tight cube section. In terms of hard demons, I'm not gonna lie, 9 circles is an easy one. But as far as what we've previously
Corner hot, nice.
gone over, I do think 9 circles is
Wild statement, pause, what?
over twice as hard as Deadlocked. The GDDL rating is over
Did I lie?
twice as high, and I'd say it's accurate and approximately is twice as hard as Sidestep. 2 popular levels that are on the hard end of the hard demon spectrum are Fairy Dust and Forest Temple. Fairy Dust is
I have not heard of Fairy. Actually, I think someone may have mentioned Fairy Dust before, but I have heard Forest Temple primarily in my chat. People are always like, do not play Forest Temple. Thoughts, chat? Because I know that chat is an amorphous blob depending on who is currently in it. What do y'all think right now about Forest Temple? Would love to hear
is
your
one of the
thoughts.
first new iterations of the 9 circles trend, following the same level format with a dark purple
It's perfectly fine. It's peak. Look at that. My chat can have a fully different personality based on who's currently in it. The more you know.
and pink color scheme. The wave sections have tight obstacles and is overall more complex than 9 circles and is an obvious step up in difficulty. It is rated at tier 14 while 9 circles is rated at tier 11. As for Forest Temple, created by
I don't think I'm going to play Forest Temple. Oh, this is by Michigan. I've heard about Michigan.
the late player and creator
I hate Michigan levels. I feel like some people would fight you for saying that. So that was very brave.
Michigan, who was one of the first #1 players in the game, is a test of skill for
Teej, do you plan on doing an out of context compilation of yourself? No, but if someone else wants to do that and upload it and tag me,
all game modes.
I support you. Whoops, I accidentally
It
went
is
full
also
screen.
a tier 14 level, which is Zelda themed. It starts off with a challenging cube section with creative obstacles meshing together triple spikes and ground blocks, often switching between inverted and
Honestly, the design looks kind of sick, no? Dude, the black and the specific kind of like jadish green, I don't know, bro. It looks kind of hard. Like hard as in like cool, not hard as in this is difficult.
normal gravity. Then it leads you into a UFO section, which if you thought the
Dude, I love these colors. Ah, dude, like that. Do y'all ever just see a color scheme and you're like, ugh, the ooey gooey. Ah, nice, bro.
Clubstep UFO is hard, good luck with this. After is a mini ship, which causes you to sway up and down. Then there is a wave where the visibility is poor. Then you have
Best.
a mini UFO, which is more about remembering the click pattern than it is difficulty. Then you have a ship section, and if you played this in update 2.1, you would know that this part was bugged and made the level 10 times harder. Now,
Dude, yeah, that looks tough. Look at that.
it's relatively easy.
You got to squeeze right through there.
The level gives you a robot and then a ball section before ending off with a cube similar to the one in the beginning with some fake walls. Overall, this
Ooh, I don't think I've played a level with fake walls. I could see how that could be tilting.
Is probably Michigan's most popular level and is the epitome of a hard demon. Now we're gonna get
I played this in 2.1. Okay, so it was brutal with the bugs.
into Insane Demons, which are the levels right
Insane Demons! As a reminder, y'all, after I beat 9 circles, I'm jumping to Magma Bound.
underneath
Oh, 9 circles is fake walls? Never mind, I'm a liar.
Extreme Demons.
I'm a cat and a liar and a fraud.
I'd say it would take a new player around a couple of months to a year of playtime and experience in order to beat levels of this difficult.
You think it's going to take me a couple months to a year to be able to beat Magma Bound? We shall see, Mdog5.
Levels like Deadlocked and Clubstep is light work compared to these. And
Vortrox just beat Magma Bound? Wait, like as a hardest?
for someone who has the skill to beat one, they probably
Are you really jumping to Magma Bound? Yeah. What made you decide on Magma Bound? It's the most popularly rated Insane Demon. And I like playing popular levels because the more popular a level is, the more people want to watch it. Not as a hardest, you just beat it. Oh, well, W Vortrox. W4 trucks.
find levels like Clubstep and Deadlocked easy by now.
Wait, we've already watched 23 minutes of this video, chat. Time flies when you're having fun.
Of course, we're going to go over the most popular Insane Demon, my personal favorite Insane Demon, and the first one I've ever beaten, and that is Supersonic. At tier 17,
Have I heard of Supersonic before? Dude, it's hard to keep it all straight. Supersonic, Sonic Wave, Wave Dash, Waveity, Wave Bank. There's so many names that overlap in this
it
game.
is an undeniable step up from the likes of 9 Circles and Fairy Dust. In my personal opinion, this is over twice the difficulty of 9 Circles due to its mix of complexity and raw skill. I'll rank it as 65% harder due to this poll of mine disagreeing, so we'll just go with the tier rating system. I mean, but overall, this level is not sweet. It starts off as a ship section, which switches from normal to
Bro, why did I stop playing GD? Hey, that's on you, King. You gotta get back on that.
flipped gravity, while having to deal with entering the portals at an awkward angle. The next wave section is pretty wide open. The mini UFO
Wait, but there was an X there. He wasn't supposed to go that way. Why did he just do that? He broke the rules of the level that was designed.
that follows requires a click pattern, but isn't too difficult. The visibility is poor in that section, though, I will admit. The next sections, you have to deal with timings, forcing you to a specific portion of the
The level just straight up lies to you? Why?
orb to line you up correctly for the
It's a fake X path?
next obstacle. This is a concept harder levels will take to the absolute
That seems a bit unfair.
extreme. Then there is a wave section testing your raw skill.
I like this color scheme too. I love black with this shade of green with this kind of like pinkish magenta. Dude, oh my god. Wait. This is nice, bro. I want to live in this color scheme.
The following section is a slow and tight ship section, which leads to a 3x speed wave section and upside down, and then nasty duel, which is pretty complex. The duel brings you into another duel, which is infamous for giving you a bad transition into the next part. The level then has you perform some semi-advanced wave gameplay compared to what we've gone over previously. That switches back and forth from normal to mini wave, and then you get a memory ball inspired by the one in Theory of Everything 2, except there is no visual difference between the real and fake blocks. The final part is one of the hardest in the level, mixing orbs with portals so you can counteract the physics of the portal, allowing you to progress into the next part. Never mind the fact that there are some fake orbs as well. The last part is a tight and awkward ship section, which is like the concept of the very first part, but
This looks
much
normal.
harder. When Supersonic came out,
The last ship section looked normal. Everything else fried my brain.
it showed what a hard and complex level looks like, and beating it was no easy feat. Alex Payne 24 made a video completing this level, which currently has 4 million views on YouTube.
Do you think he called himself Alex Payne because he was in pain when he played this level?
Some other noteworthy Insane Demons include Windy Landscape, which is a bit easier than Supersonic, known for its
Do you guys like that joke I made 5 seconds ago? Yes, thank you.
light music and complex yet fun gameplay. Now let's take a look at our rankings. In a viral Geometry Dash video, Vortrox explains how Space UK's first demon level was Decode and how his second
Should I react to a Vortrox video? I've literally never watched a Vortrox video before. Does he make good videos?
was Windy Landscape. Popular YouTuber Moist Critical, who was reacting to that video, said he had no idea what that means.
No, don't. All caps. Okay, I never will.
Now, I want you to guess what his second demon was. Probably the Nightmare or the Lightning Road, right? Wrong. His second demon was freaking Windy Landscape, an insane demon. And right after that, you got a quote-unquote 77% fail.
So here's the picture. Decode is an easy demon with a tier 4 rating, which means it's easier than Deadlocked. And Windy Landscape is slightly easier than Supersonic. So here's the difference in scales. Yeah, that's a big difference in difficulty. It turns out that Space UK was a hacker, and it was one of the biggest scandals in John.
Whoa, 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 hold the phone. Someone put their foot on the brake and take it off the gas pedal. Space UK was a hacker?
Dash history. But if that jump from Decode to Windy Landscape was made, that's pretty fucking impressive. For reference, Decode has a harder sequel level called Decode X, which is a hard demon, meaning its harder sequel level isn't even as hard as Windy Landscape.
Guys, I was sorry. I was farming. Yeah, okay, some people got it. Sorry, we have some friends on the spectrum in our chat, which we love, but that was a joke. Okay, most people are, I think I got one guide. I will react to a Vortrox video at some point. Y'all, drop some Vortrox videos in the Discord that you think I should react to. I would love to, because I've hopped into a few of his streams, and I think he's like, he's very articulate, and he has like a good vibe to him. I just haven't watched any of his videos. I would love to see the best that he has to offer, according to y'all.
Then there's Acropolis, made by Zobros, the same creator of 9 Circles. This is one of my least favorite insane demons, by the way. That aside, Acropolis is about the same difficulty as Supersonic, both being rated at tier 17. It's known for its slow, claustrophobic gameplay, and it's a test of raw skill, patience, consistency, and nerve control at the final wave. Then there's Ultrasonic, the sequel of Supersonic. Although given the same rating at Insane Demon, this is a step up from Supersonic with more advanced and complex parts, faster pace.
Why do so many levels have Sonic in the name? Is it their favorite fast food joint?
Gameplay and new concepts like the swing copter. The last Insane Demon.
I feel like Sonic always makes me feel ill when I haven't eaten it in years.
Demon level will go over.
I've never seen this level. Is there a Sonic series? Oh, he may have said that, and I was just ADHD, not really paying attention.
Ice Carbon Diablo X.
Really big series, I see. They just really like blue hedgehogs.
Finally,
that's funny.
Get into the history of the hardest levels in the game. Back when it was released, it was seen as impossible.
Oh. I thought there was a section, the tough stuff, the real deal. Wait, no, this is good because I don't know a lot about the history of hard levels. This is actually, this is a multifaceted video. So I'm going to learn about like some of the progression through the game past where I've already progressed through the game. I mean, obviously we've already been in a few levels that I don't know and I haven't played yet, but that's, this is nice. This is like, it's historical as well as educational. And some of you would argue that that's redundant, what I just said. And to that I say, let me say the words that come out of my mouth.
And with the lack of game optimization and powerful hardware back then, it pretty much was for players. It wouldn't be.
Is this ICDX? Is that why people are talking about it?
Until an entire year had passed. This was done by Riot, who is one of the most important Geometry Dash players for reasons you'll hear later. This wasn't the first top 1, but it was the first mainstream top 1. With its complex gameplay combined with awkward and tough ship segments, it's intimidating. It gives off.
Oh, so this wasn't extreme, but it was downgraded to an insane?
Club step, but 100 times harder.
I've heard people in my chat mention before that some levels get downgraded and people get really angry. They're like,
no, my precious ego. My precious ego. I beat an extreme, now it's an insane. I'm less of a player now. My ego has been challenged. Whatever shall I do? No!
And I'm like, oh, okay. I guess that's an opinion you can have. Or you can just be happy that you even played the level and beat it. I feel like that would be pretty cool.
Vibe. Nowadays, it goes in and out from being considered an extreme and insane demon, but let's get me started. To me, it's very clearly an insane demon and isn't even the hardest insane demon I've beaten. However, it's definitely on the higher end of the insane demon spectrum, being rated as tier 20.
That face, Lamau? Wait, did I make a face when I did that? I just clicked on it on the stream. I hope you enjoy your stay.
Now we're going to get into entry level / early.
One time I said this level would probably drop to Insane Demon, and someone who was going for the level got super mad and told me it wouldn't. Dude, why are people... Sorry, I know I'm not this deep into the game yet. Why do people care about a demon they played getting downgraded? It seems so inconsequential. It feels so arbitrary. Like, just play the game. I'm genuinely not rage baiting right now. I don't understand how you have that fragile of an ego about the game in that way. Like... Sorry.
Demon levels. These are extreme demons that a player who are...
Because it makes them seem worse at the game? Oh, right. Yeah, we've already talked about how a lot of GD players tend to have a fragile ego. They could just focus on playing a harder level, but instead they want the crowning achievement so they never have to put any more effort into the game. Right, that makes sense.
Crossing the extreme demon threshold will take on...
Imagine if 9 circles gets downgraded after you beat it. Dude... But if that happens, I'll be grinding on another level. Like, I don't know. I don't think about the levels I've beaten after I beat them. I'm thinking about the path ahead of me. Some people, I think they just beat levels so that they can rest on their laurels and be like, huh, yeah, I've beaten this level. Bro, I don't give a shit about any level I've ever beaten. I care about the level I'm currently grinding and working on. Y'all gotta lock in a little bit more. I don't care about what I've achieved. I care about what I'm actively trying to achieve. Get on that grind, bro.
On the soonest. This is because we are now entering extreme demons, meaning
like, don't get me wrong, your achievements and the levels you've overcome in the game are like notches on your belt that builds you into the player that you become. But why are we acting like that is all our worth is built upon?
Every level at this point is an extreme demon. However, as previously mentioned, there are thousands of extreme demons and they exist on a large spectrum of difficulty. There are some players that say the difference in difficulty between Stereo Madness and a beginner extreme is less than the difference between a beginner extreme and the...
I'm not gonna argue, like, people in chat are trying to make me understand this thing that I simply disagree with, and I think it's unreasonable. I can try to articulate this as well as possible to convince you why I think that it is foolish to get pissy about a level you played getting downgraded. I can't make you understand that. I simply philosophically disagree with you. I would rather spend my time and energy caring about things in this game that actually matter.
Hardest extreme in the game, and you'll see just how crazy that statement is soon. I'd say the average new player would need anywhere from over a year to 2 years of playtime and experience to take on an entry-level extreme. And when we see players who've taken anywhere sooner than 8 months take on an extreme, that's considered pretty impressive. Easy extreme.
Wait, what was the time threshold?
8 months to extreme. And when we see players who've taken anywhere sooner than 8 months take on an extreme, that...
8 months. Okay, I've been playing the game for 3 months. Do y'all think that in 5 months I can beat 9 circles and Magma Bound? Oh yeah, within 5 months I could definitely be on Bloodbath, right? I just have to beat 9 circles Magma Bound and then we'll be on Bloodbath? Or is he saying if I beat an extreme demon?
That's considered pretty impressive. Easy extremes are levels below the top 600, in my opinion.
Nice.
Levels that were once the hardest in the game, but because...
I'm not saying that because I have an ego about it. I'm saying because it is a bit because I have an ego about it. That's why, like, I kind of got bored of playing mediums because I got this in my head of, like, I want to see how much I can push my potential as a player. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to push, like, how good at this game can I get in the first year of playing it? You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of people view this game this way. This game is really fun and it's addictive, and it almost feels like a waste of your time to not truly test just how deep in you can go. You know what I'm saying? That's what's so exciting. It's exciting to be like, okay, this is how far I've already come, but how much more can I push to go even further beyond?
We've evolved so far beyond that, they are now considered entry-level or easy extreme demons. Enter Cataclysm.
Cataclysm, this is a classic one people say is a good intermediary, a good demon to do before Bloodbath. I probably won't do that because I do just kind of want to jump to Bloodbath for my first extreme. Get angry. This level fucking sucks. Oh, dude, I've heard people don't like this level. Like, I've heard anecdotally, the reason people recommend Cataclysm is because it can be kind of janky and annoying in a similar way that Bloodbath can kind of be janky and annoying. Do not shoot the messenger. I have heard that anecdotally online.
This is the first level on the list I personally have not beaten yet, but I plan to use it as a break level in the future. That being said, rewind a couple of years back and nobody would be talking sweet about Cataclysm.
Don't do Bloodbath as your first extreme, I'm warning you. When I hear that, I just imagine like the freaking anime kid in school. Like you're freaking sharpening your kunai and you're just like, don't do Bloodbath as your first extreme. I'm warning you. You want to be pretty careful about that if you're gonna go be doing it that way. I wouldn't do that if I were you, sailor. Many people have tried to doubt me.
Instead of me using it as a break level, it would probably be the hardest thing that I could do in any game. We are well past the point of games like Elden Ring.
No, I didn't mean it like that. No, I'm sure you didn't. I just wanted to let you know, like, it's fun to, like, do voices and act sometimes. But I'm sure you didn't mean it that way.
Ring, Cuphead, Dark Souls, Five Nights at Freddy's 5020, and so on. This is real life difficult. In update 1.9, a level called Cataclysm hit Geometry Dash. It was not only harder than Ice Carbon Diablo X, but was hell
Bloodbath?
themed, making it more imposing and far
This isn't Bloodbath, never mind.
more intimidating. This level would actually start the trend of making the hardest level in the game hell themed or of a dark red color scheme. Cataclysm is known for its tight wave and ship sections along with
Oh, I thought he was introducing a new level. He's just still talking about Cataclysm. My bad. Sorry, y'all. We're 30 minutes in the video. The ADHD is going to start kicking in a bit more.
complex memory gameplay. Coming in at tier 21, you can see the sharp difference in difficulty compared to the other levels we've gone over. It was hack uploaded by
Bloodbath is the sequel to Cataclysm? Wait, is that real, chat? I didn't know that. Maybe that's why people recommend Cataclysm first. Oh, so I was misinformed.
G-Boy in January of 2015. Many tried to claim victory of the level by uploading faked or speed hacked completions, but the
Oh, that is real. Okay.
first legitimate victory was by a player named Jiren. Then there was, you guessed it, Riot, and another player named
I did not guess it because I don't know who Riot is. Who's Riot, chat?
Sandstorm. These were the top players back in the day. But
Wait, did he say Brainstorm?
another player named Sandstorm.
Dude, I'm sorry. Like, my brain has trouble processing this.
These were the top players back in the day. Before all of them, though.
Oh, he literally just said in the video. So Riot was the OG go? I see. Okay. And he verified Bloodbath. Okay, wait. Do you think someone in chat before said that Riot verified Bloodbath? Okay.
Was a player named Cyclic, who later turned out to be a hacker. But at the time, he was also deemed as a respectable top player who beat Cataclysm before all of the aforementioned players.
I did not know about that
So
chance. Thank you.
Cataclysm had its victors by May of 2015.
Riot is the LeBron James of Geometry Dash, basically. I thought I was the LeBron James. But like when LeBron James was 2 years old and hadn't played basketball yet. Thoughts? It's okay to disagree. It's fine.
Right after Riot beat the level, he, along with other famous players and creators, made a level heavily inspired by Cataclysm, only much harder. This level turned out to be one of the most popular and important Geometry Dash levels of all time. And this level is, of
Riot basically was the OG Zoink. That makes sense.
course, Bloodbath.
I knew it! I said Bloodbath like 5 minutes ago.
Oh my god!
Bro, who's under the table? Sorry. A lot of people, like when I react in my shorts, they say that comment, and sorry, I stole it.
Made by not only Riot, but G-Boy, who made Cataclysm, Jiren, who is the first victor of Cataclysm, or technically the verifier, and creators like Michigan, who is the #1 player in the game at this point, Evasium, who helped make Supersonic, Edster, who is a popular creator, and more. It would take Riot, who is arguably the best player in the game at this point in time, a grueling 3 months
As chat
and
said.
25,000 attempts. The video of his completion...
Wow! It took the top player at the time freaking 3 months, and I don't really have a good metric for understanding attempts since I don't track them myself, but that's a lot of attempts for someone who's supposed to be the supreme being.
It has over 8 million views on YouTube. But what I think is even more
8 million million views on YouTube. Ooh. Yum, yum, yum. Yum, 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 yum. Sorry, I'm such a content creator.
More substantial is the fact that it is the second most popular demon level in Geometry Dash and the 6th most
I'm having a really good time, chat. I hope you are too.
downloaded
This is a great video. Shout out Mdog5. I know I already subscribed and liked, but yeah, this is a great video.
level in the game with 100 million downloads. This level
No, Fur, this is actually a very good point because I saw a bit of this discourse in my short where I crashed out about attempts. Yes, you track time rather than attempts. Most players don't track time, so attempts are the substitute. Absolutely. Like a lot of people don't understand when I play the game, I have a speedrun timer constantly on the screen. So that is a substitute. I perfectly understand that. And that's why before I've said, if you use attempts as a metric to track your progress, like as a supplementary thing, I think it totally makes sense. As the primary thing, I don't think it makes sense. But as like as a metric to kind of get a good idea of how much time you've invested on a level makes absolute sense to me. I think that is a very good point to have brought up. Thank you for writing that message.
displays a new threshold of
Because I think a lot of people miss that nuance to the argument I make. Like, I already have something that tracks that. So for me to care about attempts, it's just kind of redundant at that point for me.
difficulty and reigned supreme for over a year, with nothing even coming close in terms of difficulty for many months. Many tried and many failed, with no one really coming close to beating it until 7 months later. A player named Quasar was the first victor of Bloodbath in an intense race against Serve, who got second victor. Just to give you an idea for how hard
Dude, there's been so many players in GD. Like, there's like so much lore. It's so cool.
this level is. Most people used lower end hardware back in the day, as more expensive
Bro, I use lower end hardware back in today.
hardware back then was much more new
Do you see how many frames get dropped when I try to play a level that has more than 2 pieces of deco on it? Bro, it's tough.
and expensive than it is now. So most people use monitors with 60 Hz refresh rate, while Riot was using one with 120 Hz refresh rate. If you want,
Oh, was a big part of why he was one of the top players just because he was working with more hertz? Wow. That actually makes sense. I know that matters a lot for like FPS and also just like rhythm games in general. Wow. Wow, that's interesting. No wonder a lot of people come into my chat and they really just like kind of champion this whole FPS thing. I'm sure FPS matters at a higher level. Like, I'm sure by the time you're at Extreme Demons, like, I certainly understand the higher hertz, higher FPS argument. The only reason why I get annoyed when people come into my chat and try to convince me to do it is like, I don't think it matters that much until you're at like the upper threshold of gameplay. I really just don't think it matters that much.
you can look at this video I made, or several other Geometry Dash videos which explain
Oh, and it's before the physics became independent of frame rate. Right, I didn't know that there was a change for that.
how refresh rate and frames per second drastically impacts your ability
And it's not as important with click between frames. Nice.
to play Geometry Dash. Most people
FPS only matters when you get to extremes. That was my assumption.
who were trying to beat Bloodbath were playing it in 60 Hz.
Almost all top players have 144 hertz because it does affect gameplay. And I have a 144 hertz monitor and I play at 144 hertz. I actually technically play unlocked FPS. So that means I'm probably doing fine.
Making it significantly harder than Serve and Quasar, who are playing it the same way as Riot, with 120 Hz monitors. This, on top of their outright skill, were the main reason
But dude, wait, chat, what's the highest hertz monitor they make now? Because I feel like having a high hertz monitor would be so sick, bro. It would be so cool. Because you don't notice it until like you see it for the first time. And then you're just like, wow, this is like silky, buttery smooth. 480 hertz? 1,000 hertz? Are we just throwing out numbers or are we real? That's crazy. But isn't even like a 240 hertz monitor, isn't that like super expensive? Like, doesn't like the jump between just 144 and like over 200 is like ridiculous, right? Teej works at NASA and plays at 5 million hertz. I am angry that we're using all of our top end technology for space travel instead of playing the Cube game. It's not expensive? Wait, really? I haven't really looked at monitor prices in the past, like, when did I buy my 144 hertz? Like 3 years ago now? 3 or 4 years ago? So maybe it's different now. Maybe it's a little more reasonable. It's like $100 for it. Dude, I need to upgrade. That might be one of my first upgrades, to be honest. I might switch my 144, but I don't know if I have a good... What's the name of the input again, chat? It's not an HDMI. What's the other input? Ah, it's at the tip of my tongue. Tip of my tongue. DisplayPort, yes. I don't know if I have enough DisplayPorts.
Reasons why they were the first to beat this level. So basically, Bloodbath was so hard that it made players switch to better hardware in order to not just beat, but get progress on it
Anyway, that's pretty sick.
reliably. 10 years later, it is a tier 24 Extreme Demon. 3 whole tiers higher than Cataclysm. For me, it took 1.5 years to get this
Does HDMI support up to 240? I think at least for my 144 hertz monitor, it doesn't have an HDMI display
skill to go for Bloodbath.
or an HDMI port.
Of me playing casually and consistently for 10 years. And on top of that, it also took me 25,000 attempts and 6 weeks to beat Bloodbath on an even newer 240 hertz monitor. I don't even call it an easy.
So look at this graph. If we're talking about my progression, 9 circles, magma bound, and then I'm hitting up that Bloodbath, baby. This is gonna be me over the next few months.
Extreme, but an early extreme, because
Wait, let me read this. Bloodbath is around 344 times harder than Stereo Madness by the numbers. The feels like difficulty difference will vary from person to person, but easily over 100 times harder. Yeah, because for me, Bloodbath might feel easier than Stereo Madness, right? By the time we get there.
Bloodbath is actually real life difficult. This level is a behemoth.
Magma Bound to Bloodbath is a huge skill jump. Yeah, probably.
And etched its way into Geometry Dash history. I don't think there are games developed as is that are even comparable to the difficulty of this. I think gaining the skill and being able to
I would say Bloodbath is one of the only levels I haven't played yet that I've actually seen front to back. And from what I've seen of it, yeah, it seems crazy.
to beat Bloodbath is the same challenge as beating some of the hardest Mario Maker levels or a ridiculous platinum trophy like Super Meat Boy. But in terms of Geometry Dash, we're not even at the halfway point. So,
W Super Meat Boy mention. Ball knowers in chat? Any ball knowers?
what came after Bloodbath?
And now we're going into full, like, now we have, like, the TeejVeen GD forecast has now been completed. Now, like, this is to go even further beyond. I have 500 hours in Isaac. Does that count? Yeah. Sukupen Hell, yeah. Once we beat Bloodbath, Sukupen Hell will probably be the next one. Okay, Goku, you get it.
Sukupen Hell is a level built by
Sorry, come again?
Sukupen Hell is a level built by Noob.
Do more people say Sukupen? I always say Sukupen. Sukupen!
Phobos, who was a popular Geometry Dash creator. It was built around the same time Bloodbath was, and was
Are you ever planning to do Sonic Wave? Probably tomorrow.
considered just flat out impossible. Nubus was open about hack uploading the level, so RobTop deleted the level from the servers. A year later, in August of 2016, a player
Sukupen!
by the name of Trusta verified a nerfed version of the level, which is the Sukupen Hell we all know of today. It was the first rated level that was harder than Bloodbath, and ended its year-long reign as the hardest level in the game. As someone who's beaten both Bloodbath and
Should I be taking notes right now, chat? Like, if I'm trying to figure out what I want to do after Bloodbath, because I already know Sukupen Hell is probably the next natural progression, should I be taking notes? Yeah, Isaac players in chat. Vernosis, one of my friends in real life, is also a streamer, and he's a Binding of Isaac streamer, so I often raid out to him. So we got some Isaac players. We got some Isaac ball knowers.
Sukupen
Yeah, you could if you want to. That sounds like work.
Hell. Yeah, Bloodbath is hard, but Sukupen Hell is just a different kind of experience. Despite it being only 50 seconds long, it took me 10 weeks and 42,000 attempts to beat it. So what makes it harder than Bloodbath?
Sorry, I misread your message. I thought you said Sukupen Hell was the first medium demon, and I thought you were rage baiting.
Despite it being more than a minute shorter. So basically, it has fast-paced wave gameplay with extremely tight and uncomfortable gaps. The wave gameplay is so disproportionately difficult.
Dude, but I do love wave. But I do love wave chat. But you fail to consider that I love wave. And this kind of makes me salivate, brother.
Compared to anything a player who just acquired the skill to play Sukupen Hell has seen before. On top of that, the level is filled with not so great transitions and having to deal with the fact that it's super.
Wait, I got the goat? Wait, who's the goat? Sorry. Who? Wait, did I miss something? Who's here? Wait, who's Keelan? Sorry. All due respect. Can any Keelan ball knowers, can you, what's the word? Or orient me? Give me an orientation? What's up, Keelan Craft? Keelan's the youngest pro player? Yo, W. Keelan's a prodigy and GD pretty much? Yo, based. That's awesome. We get some cool folks in this chat, y'all. I'll tell you what. Wait, it's a kid that played. Wait! Was he on a King Samelot stream one time? I feel like I caught that stream, no? Or am I mixing someone up? Am I mixing someone up, chat? I might actually know who that is. He's the new generation W Popoff? Wait, how hard is Sonic Wave? You weren't on a King Sam stream? Because I saw a random King Samelot stream and he had like a super young kid who also had beaten Sonic Wave. I don't know who that was. It's top 400, top 300? That's crazy. That's crazy. Should I beat Sonic Wave tomorrow, chat? Thoughts?
Super hard to get consistent at many parts of the level.
Anyway, well, is it Keelan or Kellen? Sorry. Am I saying your name right?
At tier 25, it's a decent step up from Bloodbath. What is also a decent step up
Pronounced Kellen? Okay, so I was saying it wrong. W. Kellen.
from Bloodbath is even harder than Sukupen Hell. It's a level named Phobos. Phobos was a level that actually came out before Sukupen Hell, and because of its inaccurate placement is
Yeah, can we also say, like, Kellen is 9 and also so much better well-spoken than a lot of brain rot chatters I get in my stream. So that's not only W. Kellen for being a goat at the game, but W. Kellen for understanding social decorum and how to speak to others and articulate himself at a young age. Huge W.
a retrospective top 1 level. This level was a mega collab, but its publication was a mess with the host of the
And that's what I try to convince people. It's like, it's not an age thing. It's freaking, some people are just insufferable, bro. It's crazy.
collaboration hack uploading it to be rated and then deleted. But in May of 2016, like Sukupen Hell, a nerfed version of the level got beaten legitimately by a player named CrazyMan50 and then rated. It wasn't placed at number
Wait, how hard is Phobos, chat? I've heard of this one.
1, but at this point in time was truly the hardest level legitimately beaten in Geometry Dash. Just like Sukupen Hell and Trusta.
Oh, was Phobos the level that we reacted to the Vortrox 92%?
The completion of Phobos would kickstart CrazyMan50's career, who would go on to be a famous Geometry Dash player and creator. The level is basically a longer and harder concept of Bloodbath in terms of it being a long mega collab. Although the gameplay is more complex, hearing about levels like Phobos and Sukupen Hell existing when Bloodbath did and being even harder is like hearing that there were theropod dinosaurs bigger and meaner than the T-Rex.
Dude, random dinosaur fact. Mdog5, my goat. Can I subscribe 8 more times?
Like I said in another video.
Dude, that's awesome.
Or that there's stars way bigger than our sun. As I'm reading this part of the script, Phobos is currently the hardest level that I've beaten. Hopefully by the time this video gets out, that won't be the case anymore. But going forward...
Oh, nice. It isn't. This video is 4 months old, chat. So I hope he's even further than when the video came out.
Because of that
And also shout out everyone in chat going for new hardest. I believe in you.
fact, I've recruited the help of a top Geometry Dash player.
Okay, I recognize Zoink, and it also helps because the name is there. Who is this? Who is that? Is that Nepesta? I'm so sorry. Zoink. Is this Denny? Can you name them in order, chat? Sorry, my chat keeps breaking. This is Denny, Tyago, and Cursed? Oh, okay. Wait, why is someone saying tricked? Or trick? Tricks are for kids. Okay, thank y'all. I know Zoink. This is scary. This is scary.
Denny is an extremely talented top player who has
Denny! I don't know who Denny is, but I just kind of wanted to say his name like that. Is that okay? Denny!
completed many and has experience with the hardest levels of this game.
It sounds like you've been doing this life shit for for a little bit.
Oh, Denny's the Amber Alert guy? I reacted to that clip. I remember that.
All right, well, thank you, man.
Going forward, he will give you a more detailed estimate to how these levels stack against one another, and he's much more qualified than I am, by the way.
The tough stuff. Open
Now
it up.
we're getting into the hard stuff. Things that a casual jump
Wait, everything up till now wasn't the tough stuff? I think I would qualify everything deadlocked above the tough stuff.
dash player would never be
Sorry, everything Electrodynamix and above is the tough
able
stuff.
to do. Beating these levels
I don't want to gatekeep.
for most comes at the expense of years of practice, experience, and honing in on skills and overcoming previous mind-breaking challenges. I'm not going to estimate how long it would take an average person to beat levels of this difficulty or harder, as it now varies greatly from person to person. In terms of Geometry Dash, it isn't anywhere
oh my
close
gosh.
to the hardest of the hard, but if you beat these levels, I bet you feel like a secret agent or an undercover superhero whenever you do go outside. It must feel weird having this much
I feel like that after beating Stereo Madness on God.
skill at something and then walking around like a normal person. We're now going to get into Artificial Ascent, and I'm just going to use this level to bridge the gap from Bloodbath, Sukupen Hell, and Phobos to where we're heading in a minute. Artificial Ascent is a techno-themed level, which is, again, another mega collab made by many famous players. It beat Sukupen Hell and held the top 1 spot in December of 2000.
I feel like I've heard of Artificial Ascent. People in chat have said that. His sneeze was normal? When is it not?
16.
I'd say artificial is probably like twice the difficulty of Bloodbath, maybe a little.
Is Artificial Ascent a good, like, long jump? Or, like, I wouldn't jump to it, but is, like, after you beat Bloodbath, is Artificial Ascent a good, like, that's the next boss that you're training up? Like, this is an anime arc, and you have to go through a training arc, and then eventually you got to take down the next evil guy?
Less. I'm not sure because I haven't played artificial that much.
Don't? I will. Sorry.
But
Not too hard. You guys, I literally just pre-qualified what I just said with I wouldn't jump to Artificial Ascent after Bloodbath, and then I went on to explain, and some of you still just didn't listen to the words that came out of my mouth. And this is why streaming can make you feel crazy sometimes.
that seems pretty fair.
With a tier 28 rating, this is a big step up from Phobos, Bloodbath, and Sukupen Hell, but it's considerably easier than what it was replaced by. Insert the RGB series. The red, Yatagarasu, is basically the Bloodbath of Update 2.0. It's a long, health-themed mega collaboration between famous players and creators.
This looks
set out to
crazy.
be the hardest level in the game, and Yatagarasu accomplished that task. Remember Trusta, the very
Wait, chat. Yatagarasu is one of the RGBs, right? What's the other RGBs? Erebus is the green, blue is Sonic Wave. Bang. I know, ball.
Sukupen Hell. Well, he's also the
Wait, chat. The other day I looked up Erebus on the G-Man, the G-Man, the Demon Ladder, and there were 2 different Erebuses. Which is the real Erebus? Or did I just get trolled?
verifier of this monstrosity. It took Trusta, who was one of the best players at the time, 4 months and over 50,000 attempts. The completion of this level would gain over 3
Oh, Erebus by Bold Step? Oh, the one with the capital S. I see. It is the
million
fake one.
views on YouTube. Yatagarasu requires an elite level
Thanks,
of
y'all.
competence with all the game modes, on top of the fact that the level
I think Connix just beat this.
runs for almost 3 minutes.
Damn it, we just went in. I can't go one stream without either me mentioning Connix or someone in my chat mentioning him. It's
I've done
crazy.
a couple runs on both of them. I haven't beaten either of them, so this is a bit of a rough opinion, but I'd say maybe Yada's like 1.5 times harder. So
Yada, yada, yada.
50% difficulty increase, maybe a little higher. I think it's fair to say that Yada would be at least like 3 times harder than Bloodbath. Maybe a bit more.
This level
Wow.
marked the end of the 2.0 era, being verified in January of 2017.
Wait, we're still in 2.0?
and automatically being placed at the #1 spot on the list. The next level in the RGB series is the green level.
Like, this is what I'm saying, chat. When I was talking about this earlier about how I don't understand why people get so angry about when a level they make or they've beaten gets downgraded. It's like, at one point, these levels that players are now kind of like casually beating as they're trying to get to like Slaughterhouse, for example, in Connix's case, this was once a top 1. Like, you can get kind of pissed about the level of difficulty for the game you play constantly shifting, or you can accept the fact that, like, as you as a player that is a part of a player base where you keep improving at the game, that keeps shifting. Of course, the design of the levels that are created and played, that is also going to shift. It's like supply and demand. That's how every game works. The player base gets better, the game gets harder. The player base gets better, the game gets harder. It's like it's a cycle. It's the way it is. You can either accept that or you can be a moron.
Erebus. Erebus was made by a creator solely to see how difficult they could make a level. It was designed by Irel and decorated by popular creator Rustum, who also did work in Yatagarasu. It was then verified by a player named Boldstep in March of 2017. Making it the first top 1 level in update 2.1. The Toxic Wasteland theme level was verified in 47,000 attempts and in 3 months. As you can tell, this level is a beast with complex and uncomfortable gameplay, said to be even harder.
It looks kind of cool. It looks like the classic like little computer desktop setups where it's a black screen with the green text. You know what I'm talking about? The terminal.
Than Yatagarasu. Now getting into the last level of the RGB series, the blue level, Sonic Wave. So remember
Oh, again, I asked chat something and we talked about something that the video was literally just about to cover. My bad.
Back when Bloodbath was verified, he had a rivalry with Riot. This is because Riot and Cyclic were seen as the 2 best Geometry Dash players at that time. Part of their rivalry consisted of each of them making a very hard level and verifying it. Riot obviously hosted the creation.
There's a guy who fluked Erebus from 0? No way.
Of and beat Bloodbath, while Cyclic made a dark blue 9 circles themed level. It turns out that Cyclic was a hacker, but his level, Sonic Wave, garnered so much hype that top player Sonix, who wasn't only a top player but was arguably the best player at the time, went on to verify it in late 2016. This would take the top 1 spot before being dethroned by Yatagarasu. Sonic Wave is a 3-minute 9 circles theme level with extremely tight wave gaps going.
What classifies something as being 9 circles themed? Is it just like a level that has a bunch of waves?
At full speed. It makes the gaps in Sukupen Hell look like a joke. Now, the RGB series is composed of the previously mentioned levels and is significant because each level was a top 1. The order at that time in terms of difficulty from easiest to hardest was Sonic Wave, Yatagarasu,
flashing wave lights,
and Erebus. However, as time went on and more people started to beat the levels, the actual difficulty of the levels showed.
I genuinely I never knew that, and people in chat all the time are like, "Are you gonna play 9 circles levels?" So thank you, that's awesome.
And it was the complete opposite. The whole time, Sonic Wave was the hardest level in the series, while Erebus was the easiest. This is what I meant by the GDDL now becoming unhelpful, as Sonic Wave is rated at tier 30 and Yatagarasu is rated.
And that's why we have Aredal now, right? Which I definitely know what it stands for, and I don't need someone in chat to tell me, hey, what does Aredal stand for? The AREDL?
At tier 31.
Wait, all rated extreme demon list. Got there.
Despite Sonic Wave being the harder level.
I got it before chat said it. I used deductive reasoning.
So, some people do say that Yatagarasu is in fact harder than Sonic Wave.
I think people saying Sonic Wave is harder than Yata is it's more of like an old school opinion, because back then a lot of people were playing on 60 hertz, and I feel like Yata's gameplay is a lot more playable on 60 hertz than Sonic Wave on C.
Wait, sorry. I thought he was about to say, I think that Yata's gameplay is a lot more playable at 60 hertz than at a higher hertz. I was about to be very confused and ask why that's a thing. That would be insane. But he was just comparing it to Sonic. Okay, that makes sense.
EBF, I think Yata is definitely harder because, one, it's longer, it's learnier, there's more choke points probably. If more people played, then I think Yata would be generally considered harder.
but the general consensus is that Sonic Wave is the harder level.
Me personally, I would say
That can still be the case sometimes? Wait, why?
Sonic Wave is easier than Yatagarasu, but I know some people who would say Sonic Wave is harder than Yatagarasu. I'll just go by general consensus. I'd say that Sonic Wave is probably like 20% harder than Yata. It's not that far ahead based on general consensus.
Now we will go off of the actual demon list. Right now we are in the legacy list, the top levels of years ago. So right now the hardest level we have gone over is Sonic Wave with a demon list rating of approximately 253 at the time of the recording, meaning there are 252 levels harder than Sonic Wave. Yet, look at how far we've come.
Oh my god, dude. We've come so far. Pause.
Now we're getting into the ridiculously hard stuff, the real deal. For other
Wait, I feel like I've seen a clip of that one before.
games to compare in difficulty, I'd say either becoming a pro at a multiplayer game or beating world record speed runs. These levels are no joke, and it gets to a point where it is hard for even some experienced players to fathom the difficulty of the levels,
Do y'all think I would struggle on these levels? I feel like I clear these easy.
let alone non-Geometry Dash players. So we're going to start off with a famous one, Bloodlust.
Okay, this is where it's like, I'm not going to be extremely accurate on it, but I'd say Bloodlust is probably like 4 times harder than Bloodbath, or maybe 5 times harder. That's getting to the point where it's not that useful to know that, because now we're getting into stuff that was recently on the list. So obviously Bloodlust is significantly harder.
With the video getting 12 million
You watched a video on Bloodlust? Yeah, I didn't realize that was the beginning of Bloodlust. I did watch Extinct's video where he survived 50 days in Bloodlust.
views on
That's why I was familiar.
YouTube, it's fair to say that this is one of the most popular Geometry Dash challenges, completely outclassing Sonic Wave in difficulty, being over 100 levels harder. Bloodlust at one point in time was seen as the pinnacle of the game. If you couldn't tell by now,
Bloodlust is an extra long too, right? I know at some point I have to play Bloodlust, but bro, it's an extra long.
is a remake of Bloodbath, an ultra buffed, redecorated Bloodbath with an extension which makes the level almost a full minute longer. After being in verification hell, Nababoy verified it in February of 2018. It took Nababoy a year and a half, 120,000 attempts, and over a
You don't have to play Bloodlust, but I do. Eventually, if I were to keep on going up in the game, at some point, Bloodbath is XL2? No, it's a long.
1,000
You're actually just wrong. Not to correct you.
hours of playtime. I personally have 1.2k hours of
I'll always play 1 minute levels. My G. Dap me up.
playtime on Geometry Dash PC, just for reference. So we spent almost my entire career
What's your future hardest? Eternus.
verifying this one level. It was worth it though, being one of the most popular extreme demons in the game and further pushing the limits of it. To this day, it is seen as one of the most important Geometry Dash levels in the community. It was so hard that, just like Bloodbath, it held the #1 spot for over a year.
The reason why it's so much harder than Bloodbath is the fact that there's a lot more choke points. So let's say like Evasion. Evasion in Bloodbath is pretty easy for most people. That's like a break part. But Evasion in Bloodlust, it's actually like a choke point. Like you have that extremely tight buffed wave part, which is actually like pretty difficult in stand.
Dude, Geometry Dash players and loving saying the word tight. They can't resist it. You got this really tight part. It's so tight, bro.
Standards to list demons today. Like that's a crazy wave part for back then. So I think it mainly comes from just the length and the amount of choke points that are added within Bloodlust compared to Bloodbath. Cool. I'd say Bloodlust is maybe like 2.5 times harder than Sonic Wave, or maybe like a little more, a little less. So it's pretty subjective. Like some people could even like think Sonic Wave is comparable to Bloodlust, which is pretty ridiculous, but some people are just not that good at Wave. And I'm a Wave carried player, so I definitely find Bloodlust significantly harder than Sonic Wave.
After Bloodlust's tirade of being the
It's all subjective at the end of the day, baby.
hardest level in all of Geometry Dash, something had to eventually take its place. And with Bloodlust being so difficult, you would think a level only slightly more difficult than it would be able to take its place. But no, the first rated level that surpassed Bloodlust in difficulty is a level.
What will it be? Let me guess. Clutterfunk.
Level by the name of Zodiac. Not only was it harder than
wrong.
Bloodlust, it was a lot harder than Bloodlust.
Okay, I think this is probably a bigger jump than from Bloodbath to Sonic Wave.
The only reason I know Zodiac is because, and I know I'm mentioning him again, Connix is now playing Zodiac, which I think is like the first time he's gone for a new hardest in a minute, which I'm excited by. I'm excited when these people who play Extreme Demons, I wish they were just always going for new hardest, but I get why they don't, because I'm sure at the point that you're at with Extreme Demons, it's just like, come on, bro. It's like you're investing into a freaking multi-month grind, and it's like, that's a lot. You got to feel up for that grind.
I think Zodiac is probably like twice the difficulty of Bloodbath, or Bloodlust, sorry.
Bro. Woo! Okay, I'm starting to understand how people are like, huh, yeah, I think I'm starting to understand how people are like, huh, yeah, I'm starting to understand how people are saying that difficulty in this game is exponential.
I said twice as hard, but like, you got to think about it. It's like 2 times the difficulty of Bloodlust, and that level's already very hard. So it's a big jump. So we're getting like to levels that are actually like really big achievements to beat.
This level was verified by Technical and held the #1 spot for almost a year.
That level is like extremely deceptive and like with its difficulty. It's similar to like Tidal Wave. You think, like, you look at the gameplay, you're like, okay, it looks kind of, I feel like I could do that. It looks like easy extreme gameplay. And then you go to play it, and then you realize there's just some bullshit clicks in the middle of the level that...
Also, I'm sorry, I've been remiss. Dude has a pretty cool voice.
Completely...
Sorry, I said dude. I know his name. It's Danny. Danny!
Like, throw all of your runs, so there's just...
Bro's got a bass boosted voice. He has, like, the opposite of my voice. Like, if we were in an anime together, he would be, like, the wise older gentleman, and I'd be the little guy who is scared.
Points littered throughout the level. For one, it's also
when you pogged hearing him, I thought that was why. Oh no, I just pog sometimes.
Extremely boring. You have to sit.
Wait, maybe I did
through like a 20.
Sorry, I think I thought that, but I didn't say it.
5-second pre-drop or whatever to like get to the even remotely exciting part of the level. I think Zodiac is mostly a mental.
He sounds like a voice actor. That's what I'm saying. I want to hear him say, "You shall not." My mic clipped, sorry.
Challenge rather than a mechanical challenge. So I think that's why, like, whereas
or like, hail to the king, baby.
Zodiac gains a lot of its difficulty. Like doing runs on Zodiac isn't really that hard, but when it comes to playing from
or like, this is your kingdom, Simba.
From zero, where you're just sitting through the boring ass pre-drop.
Or yes, permission to bounce on it.
Drop over and over. I think that's where most people like they realize and that they can't do it.
There are also some levels of this difficulty that are noteworthy. The first of which we're going over will be Kinos. Kinos is probably more known for its verifier's reaction than for
yeah, I've heard about Kinos. I sure hope it does.
The difficulty of the level.
This guy's name, Nepesta. You're gonna learn something in these streams, chat. You're gonna learn something. This guy's name is Nepesta. Dude, and that's Nepesta's dad, Nepesto.
Absolute degenerate behavior. Yes, I know. But the good part about this is it became a meme. I'm joking, by the way.
With it being...
I did not expect that Nepesta's dad, Nepesto, would be in this movie.
Just about the same difficulty as Zodiac. Verifier Nepesto spent over half a year and 130,000 attempts verifying Kinos. This reaction went viral and was memed by people outside of the Geometry Dash community. Even the most subscribed YouTuber at the time, PewDiePie, and Lessons in Meme Culture.
Why'd they make up... Oh, okay, so Nepesto's dad went by a pseudonym online? I didn't know Nepesto's dad had a YouTube channel, because I've always just known him as Nepesto. We golf together.
Reacted to his reaction. But I feel like not a lot of people can fathom the insanity of the accomplishment that completely warranted Nepessa's reaction. To give you an idea of what Kinos is, it's basically what Bloodlust is to Bloodbath for Sukupen Hell. An ultra buffed Sukupen Hell remake with not only an extension, but a beginning section which begins before Sukupen Hell's.
I feel like I could beat this within... I'll be humble. 1,200 attempts.
Remake. And we know that Sukupen Hell is harder than Bloodbath, so it only makes sense that the harder version of Sukupen Hell is harder than the harder version of Bloodbath. Here is...
This is Sukupen Circles? No, it's Sukupen... What was the name of the level? Sukupen Circles, right? No, it was Sukupen Egg? No, that was Medium. He just said it and my brain immediately deleted it. What was it called? Sukupen Circles, right? I feel stupid and contagious. Here I am now. Entertain us.
The scale of the...
Yeah, Sukupen Egg, Sukupen Hell, Kinos, Sukupen Circles. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
difficulty so far.
That's
Finally,
the order.
There's Kiri's, which does for Erebus what Bloodlust did for Bloodbath and Kinos did for Sukupen Hell. Although there is no extension, it's just an ultra buffed remake of Erebus. Although levels of this difficulty were the hardest of the hard 5 to 6 years ago, it's not the case now, being in the extended demon list. That means that these aren't even in the top 75 hard.
Wait, how do I go back in a YouTube video just like... I'm using left arrow, but it makes me jump back too far. How do I just go back a little bit, chat? I forget. Is it comma?
Demon list. That means that...
Anyway, the reason why I wanted to do that was to do this bit. Look at this Zodiac!
These aren't even in the top 75 hardest levels in the game anymore, which composes...
Comma doesn't work for me.
The main list. Don't worry though, we're getting closer to...
Oh, I think you have to pause, I think.
The top. So what comes after Zodiac difficulty levels?
I wish there was like something smaller though. Like I don't want to jump back just frame by frame and I don't want to jump back a full 5 seconds. Oh well. Godlike.
For these levels, you need to be godlike in terms of skill, determination, and have mastered perseverance,
Undertale reference,
and input precision. These levels will not be accessible to 99.9% of the people who...
Oh, if I hold and go quicker? Nice. Wait, that might be tech. My computer can't handle it.
...of the people who have played Geometry Dash. The levels in this category are close to impossible to beat without certain hardware or software demands. This is due to a lot of inputs being so precise that they contain frame perfects, which is where on certain frames per second...
My frame's perfect. Sorry.
...values, you only have one frame
mugging
to input or release an input and not die. Getting back to Riot, he decided that he would do a similar thing that he did with Bloodbath, hosting the creation of a level which would be the hardest one in the game. Although this time it's 2020, and the level that was created was named Tartarus.
Yeah, like the first like
Tartarus? Like the thing from Greek mythology?
Big bad level to me, like the level I was...
Or like tartar sauce?
The first level...
The thing you eat with fish?
I was actually kind of...
Tartarus is out of the top 75 now? Wait, what's Tartarus at now?
Scared of was probably either the Golden or Tartarus.
Wait, why is he the Tartarus guy? Oh, did Danny, did he verify Tartarus?
This level was designed...
Oh, this is the Amber Alert. Okay, sorry. I should have listened to you instead of inundating you with questions. Y'all were already telling me. It's the Amber Alert level. Because he said, I hope that kid figures out what he wants from life, right? The crazy clip that we were already talking about when he says that.
Designed to be almost humanly impossible and was an open verification for the entire Geometry.
Crazy how much more well-behaved chat is when you're not actually playing. I think they just like the stuff.
Dash community. Like its level name suggests, the theme of the level is hell. It has...
Which, by the way, chat, I will say, you have been great today. I really like the banter we've had with this game, and you've given me very helpful information, so boop, boop, boop. Thank you.
There's a total of 29 60 FPS frame perfects. Yes, the frame perfects don't determine the difficulty of the level, but it just goes to show the difference in scale. For reference, Zodiac has almost none. But the cool thing about Geometry Dash is that some obstacles...
Sorry, I wouldn't usually read this chat message. And back from Dinbur. Calling dinner Dinbur is very... I know it was a typo. I want to start calling my dinner Dinbur. I need to have dimmer now.
Don't even have to be frame
Maybe I do have internet brain rot. Why did I think that's funny?
perfects and
I think it's dimmer.
are yet harder than frame perfect obstacles in the same level. There are also numerous types of frame perfect.
Stonks.
For
Yeah,
instance,
exactly.
A frame perfect with the wave is considered much
Same energy.
easier than a frame perfect with a
Oh, yes, Denver.
cube or a ship. It took almost 2 years, but in January of 2020, a player by the name of Mdog5 verified Tartarus
Dolphin. Oh, sorry. I heard daw and I thought it was doggy.
after
I got excited for no reason.
61,000 attempts. He uploaded the video on YouTube, which received 5 million views.
$5 million. $5 million. Wow. I could really go for a burrito right now. I'm getting kind of hungry.
I think this is where like the levels are kind of like
Chat, wait, we're already halfway through the video. We just have an hour left.
they're getting to where they're a little interchangeable. I mean, Zodiac is definitely easier than Tartarus in my opinion. Tartarus is the more less mental.
You got to start uploading top 1 verifications. I was thinking I would start doing that next week. Thoughts?
Mentally taxing level, more of the mechanically challenging level, and Zodiac is kind of like the opposite of that. So I think Tartarus is like 30-40% harder than Zodiac. Like I think they're
This is I know it's taken me a long time to do this. Have y'all ever seen that chart online where it like compares the sizes of stuff? Like I think it starts with like the size of a bread box, and then it shows a human, then it shows a T-Rex, and it eventually goes up to the size of our entire cosmos collectively. I like stuff that does that. It's satisfying to my brain. I like stuff like that.
they're not that far away from each other. Like it's not like a jump from Zodiac to Tartarus.
Tartarus remained the hardest level in the game for a year
It's satisfying.
and 5 months, making it the longest reigning rated top 1 level in the game's history. There were some levels that came out that were harder, but it would take years for players to make this realization, as people weren't good enough to compare the levels with one another. Imagine gapping a level like Zodiac in difficulty. I mean, look at the scale that we're at already. The Golden is a famous Geometry Dash top 1 that was said to be even harder than
I've heard about the Golden, and also, y'all, I'm so locked in. I think Zeus is playing the Golden right now. I caught one of his streams last night.
Tartarus.
I think that's right. Can anyone confirm? I think that's right.
Before opinions changed and placed it below Tartarus.
We just reacted to a Zeus video. He seems pretty cool.
It has around 22 60 frames per second frame perfects with very tight wave and ship gameplay amidst a dark green back.
Y'all, like, the more I do this stuff, the more GD ball knowledge I'm going to know. This is like, y'all have not even seen me begun to peak. I will eventually possess all GD knowledge within my little skull.
Sonic Wave Infinity, or SWI, is a super buffed, redecorated version of Sonic Wave. This level ended up being harder than Tartarus, but its difficulty wasn't realized until years later. Look at Sonic Wave and how difficult that level is. Imagine someone making a super buffed version of that level, as if it wasn't hard enough. If you didn't realize,
Jeez,
the last
this looks like it's inside of some alien's computer. Like it looks like, oh no, sorry. That's all. It looks like an Alienware computer.
3 levels are red, blue, and green themed, which actually compose the new RGB series. Tartarus being red, the Golden being green, and SWI being blue.
I'd say doing the entire new RGB compared.
Wait, there's more than one RGB series? I'm not even the far.
To the entire old RGB, it's probably like, I think it's maybe like 4 or 5 times harder because that.
Will there be a third RGB?
That's like a bunch of actually really hard levels now, like maybe even more
Is it an alien computer because it's blue instead of green?
than that. Tartarus is really annoying, as in the pre-drop has a bunch of like really hard gameplay, and then you get to the drop and it's not that difficult until you
I'm making one right now. Dope.
get to 31. Like you die to only like a few spots when you're.
I should make my own RGB trilogy, but it's just like a spike jump in red, a spike jump in blue, and a spike jump in green. Do you think it gets clicks?
Playing Tartarus, like you don't die all over the level. You usually die to like a
The TeejVeen RGB.
handful of positions in the level. So I think it gets annoying for people to play, especially when I was playing it. SWI is surprisingly like accessible if you can be Sonic Wave. Like the gameplay is basically the same. It's just significantly buffed. It cuts out a lot of the like room for error in Sonic Wave, but it's still like, if you know the Sonic Wave click pattern, you can still play Sly to some degree.
Dude, like the designs of the, I mean, it makes sense, right? Like it would make sense that since the focus of a great portion of the player base is on like the new hardest, it makes sense that these like new like top difficulty levels just like look so cosmetically appealing. But I really am just like agog and aghast. I'm like, wow, these levels just look beautiful. They're just good to look at. I mean, it just goes to show even more how this game is just built for content, because the gameplay is pleasing to the player and the levels are freaking aesthetic as all hell, dude. Look at this shit.
Yes, from Erebus to the Golden, it's maybe like 6, 7, 8 times the
Danny, come on, bro.
degree. Guess from Erebus to the Golden, it's maybe like 6, 7, 8 times the difficulty, something around that. It's definitely a much bigger gap than any of the other levels in there. Yada to Tartarus, it's probably like around the same, probably like 6, 7 times harder. Like obviously it's really hard.
He said it again. Dude is baiting so hard.
Imagine in your mind how much harder like 6 times harder is, or 7 times harder. So it starts
You're really
to mean less.
At this point, in order to help people beat levels more efficiently and just to provide quality of life changes to the game, FPS bypass and mega hack are normalized, being able to make it so your game ran as though you had a 240 or 360 FPS screen, was what frames per second bypass was. And it was basically needed, as playing in 120 and certainly 60 FPS was not the viable option if levels of this difficulty were being beaten.
Gifted players only. All right, guys, you got to click off the stream.
These are the levels that, in my opinion, you'd have
6, 7 is so 2025. Or yeah, I agree. And people are still doing it. That's not my fault if people are still doing it. That's not my fault. You think that's my fault? That's not my fault.
to be
They're still
gifted
doing
to a
it.
degree in order to even attempt. I don't think you can just work your way up to these levels from the bottom with pure grit and dedication, right now at least. You'd either have to spend multiple years and thousands of hours to be able to attempt these levels, or you just have to be gifted in some sense. People literally bring
We send each one of these in this section tomorrow. We beat them within 2 hours.
up the conversation of genetics when it comes to being able to play
Yeah, I made the same joke for the 8th time this video. What are you going to do about it?
levels of this difficulty. For reference, Denny, the top player you've been hearing from, the hardest levels he's beaten are in this range. We're nearing the top, and the levels of this category are super difficult for most professional players today. These levels demand so much from a given player that most of today's pros use a
21.
mod called CBF, or click between frames.
You know what CBF... Well, he just said it. You know what CBF stands for me? Can't be... Can't be friendly.
In order to help them beat levels around this
Because I'm mean.
range. In fact, the hardest level beaten in under 240 FPS without CBF is easier than these levels, meaning it is not yet
Yeah, I know it's
possible
integrated.
to beat these levels natively without your game running at 240 FPS.
Wait! Your chat message, can't bet foe, actually inspired me. My CBF is actually can't be focused. And that's bars. Thank you for the alley-oop on that one. So when you hear CBF in terms of me, chat, it's can't be focused. Because I got ADHD.
That's impossible. This is something I don't know how people do that.
I like Slaughterhouse
XQC played this game?
because to a non-Geometry Dash player, just looking at
Was that before or after
this
Jinxie?
level will give them an idea of how hard the game can get. This level is nothing short of brutal, even to the standards of pros. With its showcase getting over 25 million views on YouTube,
Dude, millions of YouTube views. Mr. Beast.
this top 1 level marked the start of a new era. Imagine gapping a level like
Oh, he just
Tartarus,
reacted?
a level
Oh,
with
that makes sense.
2960
The way his hands were on his keyboard, I thought he was playing.
FPS frame perfects. A level that reigned supreme for almost a year and a half. With its
We on Slaughterhouse now?
Ooh, rev up those fryers.
Dark red hell themed 4x speed, tight and complex wave gameplay, along with its straight flies, intimidating atmosphere, purely insane.
How long? Okay, chat. Like, purely, this is just a thought experiment. How long do you think from where I'm currently at in the game? As you can see on the screen, I'm on 9 circles. I have a best of 40%. I'm currently learning the wave part. How long do you think it takes me to get to Slaughterhouse?
Obstacles. Slaughterhouse is known for its straight up
Purely theoretical.
brutality. It doesn't hold anything back.
5 years? Can't wait to see you beat this in 2030. 1 to 3 years? I'd say 2 years. Years or never. 3 to 5 years. 4 to 7 years. 1 to 2, 5 years. I was hoping for more of a months situation. Yeah, like 2 months. I like that answer.
Giving the player 60 FPS frame perfects to clear amidst what is considered a slow, boring, and mentally taxing experience by pros. It instantly held its top 1 spot when it was verified by Geometry Dash Prodigy Space UK in 2021. That was what we thought, at least.
I thought Space was hacking, like when he was doing that. Like, I thought there's no
Nah, Space would never hack.
way that a human can do that. And I was right. The verifier of Artificial Ascent, his name is Combined or Combi or whatever. I don't know how we came into contact, and then we were both like, dude, that guy is so sus. And we started pointing out like multiple errors like in his video where, like, let's say some clicks were just silent or like delayed or they seemed off. I won't say the name, but we went to a Lismon at the time. We presented the stuff and they literally just completely like brushed us off. Like they basically ignored us. Eventually, like I was like, okay, if Space isn't caught, if he's not getting banned or anything, it's been like months and months since he verified Slaughterhouse. He must have been legit. So, and then I started becoming like a Space Glazer because I was like, dude, this guy's legit. And he's like the best player that's ever played the game by far. I was definitely shocked because I realized that my accusations back in 2021 were actually like true.
This is why Space UK hacking was such a big deal. Look at how hard this level is in the
Space UK hacked?
hype the community had around seeing it be legitimately verified.
I'd say Slaughterhouse to Tartarus, it's like, I think the list moves pretty exponentially. So I think Tartarus is like twice as easy as Slaughterhouse, maybe 3 times as easy. But realistically nowadays, anyone can like
Yeah, that was the second time I made this joke in this video.
beat Slaughterhouse if you beat in a hard enough level. It's like,
And honestly, from now, I'm going to make that joke every time it's mentioned because the GD community loves talking about it, bro.
the most accessible top level nowadays because it's
No clowning, no clowning. I just think it's funny.
just so simple. Everyone knows the click pattern for it nowadays. Mostly it's not that learny. Slaughterhouse has kind of dropped in difficulty in recent time. I'd still say it's at least like twice as hard as Tartarus, maybe like 2.5 times.
So in my experience, this part is called River, and it is commonly referred to as the hardest part of Slaughterhouse. Now, I've
Water found on Earth. Sorry, I missed that chat message.
attempted it, and personally, that's 5 seconds of Slaughterhouse, and I poured about 50,000 attempts into it and still haven't gotten past it. I mean, it's not like I've tried, I just wanted to test it out, but in my personal experience, River, 5 seconds of Slaughterhouse is harder than Bloodbath. That's just my own personal take. But I mean, that should just go to show how hard Slaughterhouse is. This level is so hard that it stayed in the top 10 for a little over 3 years. Although it was ever so intimidating and incomprehensibly difficult to
Yeah, that part in particular, my brain just like short-circuited. I was like, whoa.
it would be overtaken by a level a decent chunk harder.
My guess is... What's harder than Slaughterhouse? Orbit? No, Orbit's recent. I have no... I won't pretend it. I have no idea at this point. I'm so far out of my breadth of understanding of this game, we might as well be speaking in hieroglyphics, which doesn't make sense because hieroglyphics are purely physical. I don't think you can speak hieroglyphics. Oh, Acheron?
Acheron is the...
Acheron. I call it Acheron. I call it Acheron. because Ron be aching.
Unofficial sequel to Tartarus. It is again similar to Bloodbath in the sense that it is a Riot project, where Riot and other popular creators banded together to make the most difficult level in the entire game. Acheron actually ended up staying #1 on the Demon list for even longer than Slaughterhouse, at over a year. In 2022, Zoink, who many say is the best player right now, verified it after 70,000 attempts.
Bro, how long did that take him?
Acheron would then get its first victor, Doggy, who beat it in
Doogie?
121,000 attempts. I like how Doggy is the verifier of Slaughterhouse, and Zoink is the first victor of that level, and Zoink is the verifier of Acheron.
Yeah, it's like they keep on passing the belt in between each other, bro. They keep passing it around.
And Doggy is the first victor of that level. Thought that was just some Geometry Dash lore that I thought was funny.
If you're comparing 2.1 Acheron to 2.1 Slaughterhouse, I'd say 2.1 Acheron's probably like 3 times harder than 2.1 Slaughterhouse, or maybe like 2.5 times. With CBF both levels,
can't be focused.
I'd say CBF Acheron is like not even that much harder. I'm not gonna lie, maybe like 50% harder than CBF Slaughterhouse. Here's why.
That's a lot still.
When you Acheron is like very famously known for literally just being a choke point simulator. So there's just several random clicks in Acheron that are way harder than everything else. Like think about the 31 click, the first click of the level, the 72 ship, that really hard ball in the last 10%. All those are just extreme choke points that you die to pretty regularly when you're playing the level. 2.2 just completely demolished the difficulty of the ball, but that's because of just general ball physics changes. On 2.1,
you need more ball knowledge.
If you're
you lack ball knowledge.
Frame late on a click, you die. But let's say you clicked at the exact same time on 2.2, your game doesn't wait until the next frame to go and die. It just clicks. So you're not gonna die late. You have you have more time.
Denny's pretty good at explaining things. I like people who are able to reach a high proficiency in something, but are also able to articulate high-level things simply.
Time to click late than you do.
Bro could be a college professor for GD.
To like click early. So the clicks become easier. So those extremely tight clicks are nerfed by CBF. The waves are nerfed. So there's a really hard wave before that ship. I'd say the only real similar game mode between the two versions, or like between CBF and no CBF, is like ship. But the level overall just nerfs all the choke points. Some choke points just become completely obsolete, and 2.1 is just very unforgiving.
For reference, I'm gonna put this next to Stereo Madness. I mean, you can tell that Acheron is way more complex and has way tighter obstacles than Stereo Madness.
Yeah, but if you put Acheron in layout mode, it basically is just this, no?
Easiest levels in the game, but you can't tell how hard it actually is. Look at this first jump. I'm going to do it in
this is all deco.
Practice mode. Look at the window of time. I'm holding before I even spawn in, so the cube will jump at the soonest possible instant. You see how close?
You're right. I'm glad you see the vision.
Close these two spawn points are. The one on the left is too short and will result in a death. And the one on the right is too far and will result in a death. That's how precise the first...
Low-key, the first jump is harder than Stereo Madness. Yeah, you have to consider, at this point of playing the game, at the point of playing Acheron, you feel confident in your abilities of playing Geometry Dash. The first jump of Stereo Madness, you have no context for it. So honestly, when you think about it that way, the first jump in Stereo Madness is, you know, it's harder than most players give it credit for.
First jump is, and it's only that, the first jump. So when you see people beating this level, just know that it being a lot harder than it looks is an understatement.
What the fuck? Who recommended me this fucking game, oh? Who told me, bro, are y'all
Dude, it's iShows peed. I can't believe iShows peed like that.
fucking, who the hell y'all think I am?
Silent Club Step.
Your iShows peed.
Is a level with
he peed.
Probably the most history. It's an old level said to be humanly impossible, made all the way in 1.8, so when Hexagon Force came out. Back in 1.9 or early 2015, Zobros, the creator of 9 Circles and Acropolis, was also one of the best players in the game. He played Silent Clubstep in practice mode, and it took him almost 1,000 attempts. By 2016, the world record on the level was an astounding 6%. For reference, that's
Now you gotta watch the Brace to Beat Silent Club Step. It's on the list. I think it's coming up pretty soon.
Literally just the first couple of jumps. This level is so hard that the people who were going for it were looking to see who could beat it in practice mode in the least amount of attempts, instead of actually trying to make progress on the level in normal mode. Sonics, right after verifying Sonic Wave,
But it's still unbeaten?
attempted Silent Club Step in practice mode, and it took him 495 attempts. In 2020, the level was updated so that it was actually possible to beat with the new game physics, and in 2022, it finally was beaten by Paco. It took her almost 138,000 attempts, and it instantly
No? Yeah, I'm realizing from the video I'm watching that I got baited by that one chatter.
became the hardest level in the game. At least, it should have. With the hype around Slaughterhouse and other levels, Silent Club Step was rated top 4, when in reality,
A lot of little directional changes. Those are scary.
it was harder than the 3 levels placed above it. First of all, look at how far the community
Oh, sorry. They were saying the old Silent Club Step? My bad. I did the thing where like I selected one random chat message without the context behind their chat message and I misunderstood it. That's my bad.
has
Thank you for the clarification.
come. Verifying a level said to be humanly impossible for 8 years. But secondly, look at how hard Silent Club Step is. It was made 10 years ago, and when it was verified, it
10 years ago, bro.
instantly became the hardest legitimately beaten level in the game. Because it was released before Acheron, but was rated after, Silent Club Step was a retrospective top 1, similar to Phobos.
Yeah, that's why I kind of broke my brain. I was like, how is a level so old rated so late? But that makes sense because the player base just wasn't good enough for it yet. Dude, that's so weird to think about. Is that kind of the same thing with like Eternus? Is that why Eternus is just kind of like gathering dust right now?
So basically, levels around this difficulty are as difficult, if not more difficult, than levels deemed to be humanly impossible not too long ago.
I think beating Bloodlust twice in a row is much easier than beating Silent Club Step. I don't know how many times you'd have to beat Bloodlust in a row for it to be considered like Silent Club Step difficulty, but definitely like a couple more than 2. Twice in a row is like relatively doable.
There's an impossible demon list. Oh yeah, I have heard about that. The current best on Eternus is 18% by Chill Guy. Dude, a sub 20 best on a level, bro. What's that? Me day 1 on Can't Let Go?
Doable, like not even close to Silent Club Step.
Do you think it's like twice as hard? Not necessarily like twice in a row, but do you think like it's at least twice as hard as Bloodlust?
Oh, way more than that. Like, I think Silent Club Step is probably like 5, like maybe even like 10 times harder than Bloodlust, bro. It's like, it's crazy. With CBF, Akron is...
It is messed up that the only way we have to quantify difficulty in this game is comparing it to previous top levels. That's so interesting to me. We've talked about this before on stream, because we've related how the difficulty of levels is so subjective and the community does its best to try and rate and rank these. I'm starting to appreciate, because of this video, why that is so freaking hard to do. Because it's so like, you have to trust the top players who are actually able to play the levels and the vibe and feel they get from them. It's hard.
Much easier than Silent Club Step, but on 2.1, Akron is much harder than Silent Club Step.
The only other thing...
I'm sorry, we're an hour, 8 minutes in this video, and we're only a little over 2 hours into the stream. I'm so proud of myself, dude. I have minimized my yaps for this long video. I'm so proud.
Gaming that I can see coming close to this are super hard speed runs, being the best of the best in a popular multiplayer game or other high skill ceiling games. And even at that, that's a huge if. And I'm willing to bet that these Geometry Dash levels are the harder challenge for a person who, for instance, has played neither game.
There's a level to go even further beyond? Bro, wait, okay. This is the final section of difficulty before we get to a quick recap, and then I think other stuff. Okay.
Our second to last
This is, I'm guessing, just like incomprehensible skill level.
section and final section of difficulty scaling is going to be one labeled how. Only the best of today's pros can attempt these levels, putting a gap in levels like Silent Club Step, Slaughterhouse, and Acheron. These are the most current top levels in the game, and put levels like those previously mentioned to absolute shame. Tidal Wave is basically 3 minutes of waves of Slaughterhouse difficulty mixed with complex and extremely difficult sections with other
Yeah, this is Tidal Wave, right? I don't think I've ever seen Tidal Wave gameplay.
Game modes. It's a 3
Dude,
minute beach themed level verified by Geometry Dash Prodigy and current #1 ranked player Zoink in late 2023.
Like you had to have been like,
dude, and a freaking 8-year-old is beating this level. That's crazy, dude. I mean, I find this happens with every new generation of gamers. Each new generation of gamer is just so much more talented than the last. That's just crazy to me. That some kids are that good at the game.
You're at least ahead in skill to be in that level when it like Tidal Wave was like a year like ahead of where it should have been verified, to be honest. Tidal Wave is so much harder than Acheron. Like,
oh, Sonic Wave? Oh, sorry. See, there's too many similar titles. That's my bad. Dude, I keep mixing up the dude. It's like Sonic, Waves. I'm dumb, I'm sorry.
It's not even like,
they're all the same to me. I'm stupid.
I can't even put it into words like how not close it is. Tidal Wave getting verified definitely, like, people are like, oh shit.
Top 300 still impressive.
Like, we're not going to be able to beat something harder than this for a long time.
To give you an idea of how inaccessible this level is to most humans, here is a player named Top DN.
Yeah, wave this, wave that, Sonic this, Sonic what?
One bust. He is a person who beats levels in the range of levels that I called the hard stuff. He currently has 35% on Tidal Wave after 2.1 million attempts.
Tidal Wave, it's a really good level.
That's a lot of attempts, bro. Wait, do we know how many attempts Doggy has on Grief for context? I've never seen anyone who tracks their attempt count. I've never seen it over the 100,000s. Doggy has 400, like around 400,000 on Grief currently. Dude. Wow. That's like 5 showers ago.
Attempts.
Tidal Wave, it's a really good level. I think for the difficulty that it is, it's great. Probably the most fun top 1 level we're probably gonna have. Like, I think it's only down from here. Doing it from 0, that's a different story. Getting to like 39 on Tidal Wave, I'd compare that to Slaughterhouse. And then you get to 43%, so you get to the beach part. That's like around Kuki. Maybe a little easier, so like 46 is around Kuki. You get to the second drop. Maybe that's around like AOD or Tunnel of Despair. Maybe Spectre. And then I'd say if you get to the 62 part, or maybe the middle of the 62 part, that's around like Silent Club Step. So like maybe around the 60s, that's like Silent Club Step. You get to the 72 part, that's like Acheron. As you go through the 72 wave, you just get up and up and up on the list like exponentially. So you
yeah, for sure.
Every click you do, like the level just gets harder.
If this level,
I think Denny's right on that one. I fully, I just want to parrot what Denny just said. I 100% agree. But when I look at this level, I draw the same conclusions. I think he hit the nail on the head. That one coworker in meetings. I agree.
Level was rated instantly when it was beaten. It would have been the longest reigning top 1 ever. It spent 623 days being the hardest
Do you know these levels? Like the back of my hand.
legitimately verified level in the game.
Sorry, I'm joking a little too much. I don't even know what I'm looking at right now.
During that time, only 4 people in total beat it, with Zoink verifying and 3 victims.
Zoink!
Imagine the first
Zoink, Scoop!
wave being something you need to be consistent at and get past a good portion of every time you attempt the level. Well, that's hard to do when the first wave alone is harder than Bloodlust.
Just the first wave is probably like as hard as one of like the lower levels on like the list, lower wave levels. So maybe like low main list or something.
Remember when we were talking about frame perfects? Well, Tidal Wave has 200 of them. So on 60 FPS, it's basically not possible for a human to beat, and we can pretty much assume the same for 120 FPS for that matter. Lots of professional gamers in multiplayer games like Call of Duty and Fortnite use, or used to use at least, 120 hertz refresh rates during their reign as top competitive players.
That's what I'm saying. I was saying that earlier in the video. Like, hertz is also super important for FPS. It's fun. Basically, if you're to try to beat Tidal Wave on this exact monitor, which allows you to compete at a high level on COD and played natively, it would be basically impossible to beat Tidal Wave. Okay, so that kind of goes into what we were talking about earlier in the video and why like those the cases where it would be easier on different hertz values. Great. I now understand that a little bit.
For instance, a lot of Fortnite and Call of Duty professionals today have been professionals for a pretty long time, meaning that they've gotten a decent chunk of their earnings while using 120 frames per second or hertz monitors. Yet those monitors don't even produce enough frames to play Tidal Wave reliably, let alone beat it. This is why CBF and FPS bypass are a thing. That's how hard these levels are.
Well, basing it off.
That's what people in chat have tried to make me understand that distinction. This video actually finally helped me understand that.
2.1, I'd say 2.1 Tidal Wave is about twice as hard as 2.1 Acheron. But if you go on CBF, I'd say 2.2 CBF Tidal Wave is probably like 4 times harder than 2.2 CBF Acheron, or maybe 3. I'm not sure.
Amethyst is a level which was verified by the other
Okay, so Tidal Wave's hard.
Dash Prodigy, W Popoff. After its long reign, Amethyst was the first rated level which was harder than Tidal Wave, finally dethroning that monstrosity. This is currently the hardest level beaten without CBF, although it is rumored.
Wait, Amethyst, the name of a gem? That's a level?
That Zoink's project that he verified.
I don't believe Amethyst is possible. I've never heard of this one.
On the same day as Amethyst, coincidentally, Thinking Space 2 may be harder than Amethyst. There are like 5.
I have heard of Thinking Space 2. That was day 1 when I played the game. I played Stereo Madness. I tried Bloodbath. I got 2%, and then I just I fluked Thinking Space 2 from 0.
People in this earth right now that are good enough to get decent progress.
W Popoff claims that Amethyst no CBF is harder than TS2, which is the current #1 rated level.
On both levels and can determine which one is harder.
It's true. Thank you. Yeah. Well, there wasn't a clip because my stream crashed, but I did
Harder
it.
than the other.
I also did a practice run of Thinking Space 2, and that's like that level was terrible. Like it might even be harder than Amethyst. I'm not sure.
Amethyst is described as a level where every single click is a nightmare, with over 100
I thought it was my mouse on the screen.
per second frame perfects and over 120 FPS frame perfects. We can kind of see the increase in difficulty with that factor alone.
I'd say like.
What's the difference between a 60 FPS frame perfect and a 120 FPS frame perfect? Is that set? A 120 FPS frame perfect would be harder. If you're playing on 120 frames per second and you have a 60 FPS or a frame perfect that is typically a frame perfect under 60 FPS, would that mean that you have 2 frames to execute that frame perfect given 120 frames per second? Is that right? Am I thinking about that right? Okay. Yeah. It's just... Okay, cool.
Like, Popoff thinks Amethyst is significant.
Which is another reason why playing on a higher hertz helps you at this level. Because otherwise, you're literally nerfing how many frames you have to perform an action.
Harder than Tidal Wave, I think.
I'm learning!
This is probably like, maybe like 50% harder than Tidal Wave. Maybe like a little less. Like, I don't think it's like a jump, like a huge jump from Tidal Wave to Amethyst. But I think it's significant enough to where it's...
You'd expect it to be twice as hard, but it's much more challenging. No, I perfectly understand how that's much... Like, I understand that that is exponentially more difficult.
Pretty obvious.
Because it isn't like... The average human reaction time is like... Even like if you get it good, it's under like 200 milliseconds. Like, it's... You're really splitting hairs.
That Amethyst is harder.
Grief is the unofficial sequel to Slaughterhouse.
So at that point, I feel like it's almost like you're predicting the input more than you're actually like... This is a deep tunnel we could start spiraling into, and I don't know if I'm ready for this conversation. It's going to get super convoluted very fast. Yeah, more muscle memory than reflex. Kraken, that's a great way to put it. Thank you. Thank you. I was about to explain stuff in about 1,000 words. Exactly. That's why it's more muscle memory than reflex.
Carrying a verifier. Doggy. This level to some makes Slaughterhouse look like an easy demon. 75% of this level is said to be harder than Tidal Wave. Mind you, Doggy is a top player who already verified Slaughterhouse and has beaten Acheron. He is currently over a year into Grief with over 300,000 attempts. Grief has 237 60 FPS frame perfects and 11 120 FPS frame perfects, which just goes to show you how insanely difficult this level is. In fact, this level is so hard that Doggy, one of the best players in the game, is using CBF to verify it. According to the rules now, a level must be verified without the mod in order
Wait, really? I did not know that.
for it to get rated. But Doggy doesn't even care. The level is so hard that he refuses to verify it
He'd rather just beat it?
without CBF. And even with CBF, the experience
Oh, it's outdated? Oh. It's allowed now? Okay, good. Because it, like, that seems so pedantic. Okay, thank God. Okay. Thank you, chat. Jeez. Whoo! Because now it's in the vanilla game, no?
of playing and beating the level is harder.
W up top. Okay, W up top. That's great. I think that that's awesome because that is like, it's dumb when something like that is the limit. Like, I think that is a great play because that is going to allow to the player skill ceiling in this game to continue to rise. Because that would be such an arbitrary thing to allow to be a limit. That would be so arbitrary, dude. W up top.
Than the likes of Tidal Wave and Amethyst and Thinking Space 2 without CBF.
I've played Grief like here and there, but I'd say obviously it's harder than Tidal Wave, yes. And I think it's harder than Amethyst, yes. Let's say like 75%.
Dude, I love this game.
Harder than Tidal Wave is like Grief. Oh yeah, I don't think anyone's really like realistically in the future is gonna beat Grief without CBF. Like I think people will try, but I don't think anyone will actually be able to because it's just ridiculous.
Once this is out, this will be the hardest legitimately verified level in the entire game, but we are nowhere near stopping. W Popoff is already working on and has progress on a level named Vehemence, which is said to be even harder than Amethyst and Grief.
Wait, W Popoff has since lost the verification rights to Vehemence and it will likely not be harder than Grief anymore? Wait, why? What? He got kicked? What?
So that's it. That's the current scale of everything in Jamshadash. Let's take a look from start to finish. Alright, just to recap.
Yeah, recap!
With some additional context, this is Stereo Madness all the way up to Cycles.
Oh, he made it too hard and never actually played it? Inactivity. Oh, okay. Okay. Wait, oh, so is verification, do you go through a bit of like a formal process for it? I just thought it was just kind of someone like, hey, I want to verify this. Is there like a verification council? It's just like, hey, if you don't document yourself playing this level enough, you are kicked. You are banned from the council. Depends on the level. Ah, interesting. I didn't know that. Let's rip the recap.
You can beat these levels fairly easily. Most people can within a day or so. Then you have Time Machine, Cycles. Once you hit Electrodynamix, then the game becomes an actual challenge to people who just picked it up. And then Club Step in Theory of Everything 2 and Deadlocked is an additional jump. And that will take
Oh, it's based on what the creator of the level wants? That makes sense. So the creator kind of outlines how they want the verification process to go about.
Pretty decent time commitment of a couple of weeks at least to most people who just picked up the game. And then you get into...
It's almost like the player is a freelance worker for the creator of the level. Kind of.
The Sidestep, which is beyond...
So like if you had a freelance worker who wasn't delivering on like updates and progress, the creator would be like, hey, I don't really want to work with you anymore.
The main game, so this is probably after you've beaten the main game. And then you have the likes of Ultimate Custom Night 5020. And that's the hardest base Five Nights at Freddy's challenge. So a really big achievement.
Wait, we're talking about, dude, I don't know Five Nights at Freddy's. What?
From another video game, and it's sandwiched in between Sidestep and 9 Circles. So 9 Circles is a bit harder, Sidestep a bit easier. I'd say UCN is about as hard as a medium demon. And then once you get past 9 Circles, you have Sekiro, which is one of the harder Souls games.
Wait, yo, this is actually a 1-to-1 for me. I've beaten Sekiro. I've gone all the way up in the New Game Pluses. I've beaten Sekiro. New Game Plus 7, I think. That's how you'll know I'm a gamer. I haven't done that on stream. I did that in my own time. Sekiro is my favorite FromSoft game. I love that game, bro. I haven't played it in like a year, but that game is so good. I was learning how to speedrun it at some point just because, like, dude, that game is just like an 11 out of 10. It's so good, dude. The layout of the world, the freaking gameplay, it is so good across the board. You think Sekiro is harder than 9 Circles? This is where, like, I think this is where it starts getting weird. I don't classify difficulty between games like this. My brain doesn't do that. I think my brain is just so siloed in terms of like Sekiro is a hard game. Geometry Dash is a hard game. Celeste is a hard game. Speedrunning Super Mario 64 is a hard game. My philosophy, I don't like classifying different games and comparing them like this. I don't think that they fit like this on a scale. That's my opinion. Exactly. The games are too different to reliably compare them. I don't agree with this methodology of ranking difficulty across games. My brain doesn't process it that way.
And this includes everything from like the beginning to being able to beat something like Inner Ishin. So that's at least like a month to a couple.
All that being said, before we get too far away from it, if you are a nerd and you like difficulty in games and for some reason you haven't gotten around to Sekiro, get around to it. I promise it is not a waste of your time. This game is like in my top 5 games all time, dude. I did not play it on release. I like got super hyper fixated on it like 2 years ago. This game is so good.
Couple of months
seriously
of consistent playing, and once you're able to beat something like 9 circles is pretty much being able to beat the difficulty of an entire hard video game, and then you just keep moving up. So by the time you're able to beat Supersonic and Insane Demons, easy demons become actually easy demons. Once you hit Cataclysm, that's like a real life good challenge. Those are like platinum trophies in hard games, or like being able to cheese through a really hard game. Like that's the difficulty Cataclysm is. And then you have Bloodbath, which is significantly harder than Cataclysm. This is most people's long-term goal, and everything after.
That's me. My long-term goal. I want to beat Bloodbath.
After Bloodbath is just extra and just like ridiculously, whimsically hard. But Bloodbath is pretty much everybody's dream level. And beating Bloodbath, I said it's like beating the hardest Mario Maker levels. I think it's like being able to pick up Mario Maker one day.
I've never gotten too into Mario Maker. I used to watch a lot of Mario Maker levels when that had like its heyday back on YouTube. I mean, not just on YouTube. It was like very popular. What year was it? It was like a decade or so ago. It was like one of the most popular in terms of like attracting a player base that was level designing. It was like, I mean, it was bigger than freaking Happy Wheels, bro. It was like the premier thing for years there.
And then working your way up to being
in terms of like people who had a passion for game design and level design, just being attracted to a game.
To beat the levels from like a Little Curbs video. I think like Trials of Death is way harder. So I shouldn't have said hardest Mario Maker levels, but you guys get the point. And that's going to take close to a year to do if you're serious about the game. And then once you get past Bloodbath, it's just like extra, you know? The word hard starts to mean less. As you can see, Yatagarasu is about thrice as hard as Bloodbath. And if you can beat Yatagarasu, then beating Bloodbath is like no big deal at all. Like it's not that hard anymore. And then you keep moving up and up, and then it gets to a point where you hit Bloodlust. And once you hit Bloodlust, I don't think there's like a developer-made game with developer-made challenges that are even remotely close to it. It's more like picking up the controller one day and going from being a noob at a Call of Duty game and then being a real-life professional.
That's what I'm saying. I'm glad he outlines this here. I would recommend, I mean, my opinion is that it happens even sooner, but like, that's why I love games so much. And I think it's why a lot of you here love games so much. Like, I genuinely believe that every game possesses, some of them are just more easily observable than others, but every game possesses a depth of knowledge and skill with it. And I mean, like, everything in life is like that. Like, everything has deep complexity behind its simplistic exterior. For example, the fact that like the original Super Mario Brothers game was min-maxed to such an extent that like speedrunning for that game is like down to a science, dude. Like, that's what I like about gaming. I love that games have deep complexity to them, even if someone who has never played the game before might disregard it superficially. And that's why I think it's like, we can talk about games in this way where we compare them, but it's like, it's so specific to any given game. It's the same way as like someone who is an expert blacksmith, their skills are not necessarily like deep knowledge of being a blacksmith is not transferable knowledge to like deep knowledge of someone who's like a culinary chef. You know what I'm saying?
That makes money.
And that's beautiful. That's a cool thing. It's cool that in life we have things that are transferable in terms of a breadth of knowledge, but the deeper you go with something, it's singular. That's a cool thing about life that we all get to share.
Like, that's the skill difference that we're at. On paper, if we're going based on these rankings, just to give you an idea, Bloodlust is about 9 times harder than Bloodbath on paper. And Bloodbath is already something that's like a super hard challenge. I'd say it would take most people who are serious about the game at least 6 months to beat. Of course, if you're starting as a beginner, and that's a low ball. But then you have like
Geometry Dash is probably the highest skilled ceiling game of all time with no competition with anything else. That's why the comparison works, so you can see the scale. I think you're egotistical and you assume that the game you play and like is better than every other game. I think you're kind of toxic for that belief that you have, and I just fully disagree. I don't think that even this video is arguing that Geometry Dash is the #1 hardest game of all time, but I do think that you're short-sighted for genuinely believing that. I think you need to broaden your worldview a bit.
Recent list demons like Zodiac, something twice as hard as Bloodlust. Like, just think about it, twice as hard as Bloodlust. And it's like, you can say,
yeah, this is a really well-made video. I'm loving this.
That the levels are hard, but like, what does the word hard mean anymore? Like, Bloodbath is hard, Cataclysm is hard. Then you have Zodiac, that's like 18 times harder than Bloodbath. Like, you can't really fathom that. And those are in the extended list of our list, so not even in the top 75 anymore. Then you have Tartarus, the Golden, Swai. Those are like the low end of the list, like barely scraping into the top 75. And then you have Slaughterhouse, which like is so hard that people outside of the Geometry Dash community would react to it for content, like XQC, IShowSpeed, like they've all seen Slaughterhouse, and it's just like, what the fuck is going on? And then when that level reigned as top 1, you had a lot of people who took over 100,000 tries to beat it, and one that even took like 500,000. But it's really nothing compared to like Silent Clubstep, Acheron 2.1, which just completely outclasses Slaughterhouse.
It just keeps going, bro. It's crazy.
And again, it's like you can't really fathom how hard that is. And it's like you can say that to the average person, but they're not going to know what you mean. It's like comparing space objects.
Exactly, but you can say that to the average person about Super Mario 64 speedrunning. You can say that to the average person about literally any... I already said this, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not just something unique to Geometry Dash.
Like the sun versus like... Sirius or something. It's like, oh, okay, like you can tell me that this is twice as hard as this, but you can't really fathom the actual scale. For instance,
exactly, that is the deep knowledge that every single thing in life possesses. The deeper you get into it, the more inexplicable it is to a novice.
Slaughterhouse is about 60 times harder than Bloodbath on paper, and is
you have just described this a deep mystery and beauty to life.
Almost 7 times harder than Bloodlust. And then you have Acheron, which is allegedly twice as hard.
Sorry, and to be clear, I'm not arguing so much with Mdog5. I think he's like, this video is great. I'm more kind of pushing back against some of the sentiments that folks in chat have shared throughout the video.
As Slaughterhouse, if not more. And then you have Tidal Wave, which is twice as hard as Acheron, if not more. And then you have like Amethyst, which is a bit harder than Tidal Wave. And then you have Grief, which is almost twice as hard as Tidal Wave. So you can see these little bars that I made, but okay, let's look at Grief. That's almost twice as hard as something that I told you was twice as hard as something that I told you was twice as hard as something.
I'm watching while babysitting my baby niece and she whips her head around and smiles whenever you speak. That's so wholesome. What the heck? Thanks for sharing that. I hope you're having a great day. That's so wholesome.
That I told you was 60 times harder than Bloodbath, which is a challenge that would take most people from half a year to a year to beat if they're serious. That's how hard Geometry Dash is, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on, you thought it was over?
It's not even close, dude. There's still 30 minutes of this video left.
I'm gonna go over the currently impossible levels. Geometry Dash is an ever so growing game where the skill ceiling only furthers as time goes on. It will not stop until the game dies, which right now there are no signs of it doing. But the theoretical...
No, dude, Geometry Dash, like, that's the one thing I think we all can agree on, and I've talked about that. I don't remember what video I talked about this in, but unquestionably, Geometry Dash is in such a golden age, both for, like, the player base, the creator base, the people who are designing levels, creating levels in the game, that creator base, but also content creators online. Like, Geometry Dash is in the pocket right now. It is in its element. I'm super excited, one, to be a part of it, even as of just joining the community and the player base in the past few months, but I'm really excited to see where the game goes from here. And I'm super excited that it continues to get the recognition and attention that it surely deserves.
Limit of the game is much different than the actual current limit of it. We refer to the hardest level in the game as the hardest legitimately beaten level, but that doesn't mean that there aren't levels that exist that are even harder, because there are. Meet the impossible levels list. The impossible levels list ranges from levels around the
we mentioned this a bit.
of the hardest in the game. Some are actually easier, it's just that no one has gone for them. But of course, the bulk of the list is composed of levels harder than those legitimately beaten. Enter Eternus. Eternus is the unofficial sequel
Yo, we just alluded to that earlier in the video.
to Acheron, and is the hardest Riot level in the Tartarus, Acheron, and Eternus series. Again, it is a Riot project that is currently in open verification, which is meant to be the hardest level in the game in the coming years.
Okay, so to what we were talking about before, sometimes I'm guessing non-open verification is when just one player is tasked with verifying it, and open verification is just like, hey, if you're a player who thinks you got a shot at this, try.
It is way above the difficulty of anything legitimately beaten currently, and is probably the most relevant impossible list level right now. With 211 60 FPS frame perfects and 78 120 FPS frame perfects in a level that is under a minute and a half, you can kind of get an idea of how difficult it is. But not even top players can comprehend its difficulty right now to a reliable degree. It is made with the intent that no one can currently beat it, but someday someone will be able to. Riot wants the
Hey, that was like Silent Club Step at one point, right? We're learning.
completion of this project to look somewhat like Silent Club Steps being deemed impossible, and then players slowly making more and more progress on it as time goes on.
God, what a great, like, seriously, I know I've already said this 1,000 times. Shout out Mdog5. I get why so many people upvoted this video now. This is just a very good video.
Speaking of Silent Club Step, Silent Club Star is a super buffed version of Silent Club Step, and based on its placement on the impossible levels list, you can say it's the Bloodlust to Bloodbath of Silent Club Step, at least with Eternus.
Yeah, but Eternus is so hard, I'm genuinely split if it ever even gets close to verified. I mean, I'm not going to pretend to, like, I know more about the game than you do, but I do just want to say that the way history works is the people currently living in history are typically a little more cynical and less open-minded than the people in the future, like in the present that we're looking at now. When we're able to observe history, we're able to be like, yeah, of course this was possible. But like, I'm sure people were pretty cynical about the possibility of Silent Club Step even being verified before it was verified, right? I'm not arguing that Eternus isn't a different beast entirely, but I do think that it's like, I don't know. I think the threshold that humanity is able to push itself through can sometimes be surprising in ways that even like the current present moment can't appreciate.
It is estimated that someday someone will be able to beat it. With Silent Club Star, that's unlikely to be the case. Being an uglier, meaner, and scarier version of Silent Club Step, Silent Club Star rates almost 180 levels harder than Eternus. What's even harder than Silent Club Star is a popular level called Silent Circles. Silent Circles is another popular impossible list level made by creators Cyrillic and Silent, the guy who made Silent Club Step. It became super popular due to its gameplay being just
I was around when Silent Club Step was impossible, by the way. Then I feel like you should know better then. If you were around when a level was considered impossible and you lived to see the other side of it when it suddenly became possible, that should be empirical evidence to you that the times change.
blatantly impossible. I mean, look at this. You literally have to be a robot to beat this level. So Jamshid's progeny, as I've gone over, Zoink, who's verified Acheron and Tidal Wave, the current #1 ranked player and the player who's widely accepted as the best player in Jamshid right now, spent almost an hour completing this level in practice mode. And that's actually the world record. Despite this, there are over 30 levels that are said to be harder than this. The hardest impossible level in the game is tax evasion. Rated #1 on the impossible levels list is tax evasion. Difficult isn't even...
Oh yeah, I'm sure there are some on the impossible level that are truly like in Super Mario 64 speedrunning or just speedrunning in general, there are things that are performed by Taz, which is basically like a computer performing the actions, not a human. There are things that only Taz can do that are like humanly impossible. I understand that for sure. Like I'm sure there are some levels genuinely on the impossible levels list that are just like you can't do it.
Even a
for
word
sure.
to accurately describe this level. There's currently no one on this earth who can beat tax evasion, and there never will be anybody on
But also, there are some things, for example, in Super Mario 64, that could only be done by Taz that are now being replicated by humans.
this earth that can beat tax evasion. It's gonna take Jesus Christ himself. I mean, look at this. It's just not possible. Like, at all. The difference between Stereo Madness and Tidal Wave
is a pretty level.
Is less than the difference between Tidal Wave and tax evasion. It's like comparing a Google years to forever. Remember?
No, Teej, tax evasion will never be verified. Did I say that? Y'all like to make up things that I said.
Tidal Wave having 260 FPS frame perfects. Remember?
Like genuinely, I think when I stream, y'all listen to 10% of the words coming out of my mouth. Which, to be fair, I yap a bunch. It's hard to catch every single word I say.
Remember Eternus having 211 60 FPS frame perfects and 78 120 FPS frame perfects? Well, tax evasion has 640 1440 FPS frame perfects, meaning
no, yeah, like all the levels we're talking about in this latter part of the impossible level section, for sure. I'm like, I get it, bro. Like no one's touching that with a 10-foot pole.
That it's basically not possible on a monitor that can theoretically produce 1,400.
Well, when you don't clearly explain every word you say, you're bound to get people misunderstanding you. Do y'all feel like I don't articulate myself well?
140 frames per second. That is...
You talk about one thing, then change to another in the same sentence sometimes? Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, like I said, difficult isn't even...
But I feel like y'all get fixated on the one thing I was talking about.
In a word that you can use to describe. Okay, so now that we've gone over the difficulty scale of Geometry Dash, let's go over some mind-blowing facts about the game and what people...
Well, whatever. I can't help the people who don't understand me better, but the people who do understand me, and to those people, I salute you.
...have achieved. This is the difficulty of Deadlocked. There's a rated level which is deadlocked but completely invisible, named obviously Invisible Deadlocked, and it's not even an extreme demon. That means the hardest main level in the entire game, when completely invisible, becomes invisible when looking at the scale of difficulty.
But I also, I recognize, chat, because I do think this is interesting to talk about. I recognize that too in myself sometimes. Like sometimes you're having a conversation with someone and they say like one thing and then your brain fixates on the one thing they said and then your brain starts formulating a response to that. But what you have to realize is when your brain is doing that, what you did in the conversation was you stopped listening to what the other person was saying. And I think sometimes chatters, they hear the first part of a point I'm making and they want to type and respond to that first part of the point. And as they're typing that and formulating their response, they've missed the next whole paragraph of what I was saying. That makes sense? I do that sometimes too, because you get so excited by the one thing that was said that your brain shuts off and you're just like, I'm thinking about this now. Does that make sense?
Of the actual game. Way back when, Andromeda released the top 10 hardest Geometry Dash videos. This was before Bloodbath was released. At number 2 was Cataclysm, and number 1 was...
blah, blah, blah. That they clearly don't understand.
Silent Clubstep. Here's the difference between Cataclysm and Silent Clubstep. So, is the difference between Stereo Madness and Bloodbath greater than Bloodbath and our current hardest level in the game? Let's find out. So obviously we're just going off of our determinations of level difficulty, and this first half is pretty much on me. So Bloodbath on paper is about 344 times.
Okay, this was the same message we saw earlier.
Than Stereo Madness. Yeah, I think that's pretty fair considering Bloodbath is like a real life hard challenge and Stereo Madness is a couple of spike jumps essentially that I've witnessed my 3-year-old cousin beat. This is based on my determination, and the next one is going to be obviously more so determined by Denny, and he said that obviously it's not like completely accurate, but he felt like he did a good job with determining how much harder each level was than the other, just how I thought I did a pretty good job with this ranking. And of course, the feels like difficulty is something different than the actual on paper difficulty. So for instance, I'd say like Bloodbath is probably about 344 times harder than Stereo Madness, but then of course it's
That is it is a crazy, very specific number to pull out.
It's gonna be different to person.
Like, I don't think I've ever. It's like sometimes when some people are just like 82% of statistics are made up or like that kind of thing. Like, I get that it's like numbers can be a feel-based thing sometimes, but that's a crazy number.
Feels like it's different. For instance, Yatagarasu might not feel 3 times harder than Bloodbath if they say, for instance, already beat Sonic Wave or have a bunch of experience or are just really good at the game. It's not going to feel like that difference, even though the difference is there. Which brings us to this other ranking, starting at Bloodbath. That little dot right there, that's Bloodbath. That little dot is harder than a Souls game, mind you. That little dot is harder than Cuphead. That little dot is harder than Super Meat Boy. So that's just to give you some...
I mean, yeah, maybe. I see the argument. I kind of disagree.
Perspective. To the right of that is Yatagarasu. To the right of Yata is Sonic Wave. To the right of Sonic Wave.
But I understand the point.
Wave is Bloodlust. To the right of Bloodlust is Zodiac. To the right of Zodiac is Tartarus. And I think you guys can see it as we zoom out here. So I'm just going to stop right here real quick. A lot of people said the aforementioned question that we're trying to answer before Acheron even came out. And I'm just going to say no, right? The difference between the hardest Extreme Demon and Bloodbath is not greater than the distance between Stereo Madness and Bloodbath. A lot of people really underestimate, especially people who are very good at the game and who can beat Bloodbath like within the blink of an eye, really underestimate the difference between Stereo Madness and Bloodbath. I think that's because it also takes longer to climb from like a level like Slaughterhouse from Bloodbath, from like Stereo Madness and Bloodbath. Like you can do Stereo Madness to Bloodbath in like a year. Bloodbath to Slaughterhouse is probably gonna take a lot more than a year. But if anything, that just goes to show how hard Bloodbath is, and it's because there's multiple steps involved. Like, in order to go from Slaughterhouse to Bloodbath, you'd probably have to beat something like Bloodlust, which is already several times harder than Bloodbath. You have to probably from there go to Zodiac and then Tartarus, you know what I mean? So I understand why that point sort of became popular, but even if you're looking at Acheron versus Bloodbath, it's not true. Acheron on paper is 180 times harder than Bloodbath, while Bloodbath was 340.
Again, these are random numbers.
4 times harder than Stereo Madness.
But I know he already pre-qualified it that he's just like he's going off a feel. That's
on
fine.
Paper. And even if you think these estimates are complete bullshit, or I'm not a top player, so who am I to talk? Like, if there's
no, I'm not disregarding it because you're not a top player.
One thing in common, we're all humans, and the human experience is similar enough to where the discrepancies between someone else's opinion isn't going to change this fact to the degree in where I would be wrong in this case. Cocky sounding, I know, but like, let's take, for instance, someone other than Denny. Let's say that they say that these rankings are wrong, and let's say that their opinion is like an aggregate.
But also you just kind of arbitrate. Sorry, this is the first time I actually am going to just be mildly critical. Like, we talked a lot about the difficulty of Geometry Dash, but you just kind of arbitrarily added the difficulties of other games to the scale. Like, we didn't really do a deep dive into those games. You were just kind of like, yeah, I just kind of added it.
Of everybody else's opinion. So let's say that that's the case. I'd say like the difference in terms of how off we could be would only be anywhere from like 10 to 20%. Not like 60 to 70% margin of error to where the difference between Acheron and Bloodbath suddenly is greater than the difference between Bloodbath and Stereo Madness. That's what I'm saying. I hope I made sense. If not, you can hit me in Discord and I'll try to explain it there. The feels,
but again, like you can't support your like. You can have an opinion that's based on feel. You can't support your feel-based opinion with made-up statistics. You know what I'm saying? Like, it can't be both. You can say, hey, I feel like I feel like these levels are harder than this game. That's fair. You can have that opinion. You can't then support that opinion with statistics that you made up.
Like difficulty,
in my opinion,
might be greater, but in terms of like the actual difficulty of the levels, people highly underestimate the difference between Stereo Madness and Bloodbath. That being said, it's not until we hit Tidal Wave to where that
Reminder that this video is years of actual research. Okay, where is the substantiated data? Where are the sources of where these numbers came up with? They're made up, bro. They are just made up. They're feels-based statistics, which is fine, but you can't make that argument and say these numbers like they matter when also in the video you say, "Hey, I'm just kind of going off a feel here, man."
Becomes true, where Tidal Wave is about 360 times harder than Bloodbath, while Bloodbath is 344 times harder than Stereo Madness.
He talked about it at the beginning. What did he say at the beginning?
So the answer to
I
this
genuinely
question
don't remember. What did he say about the statistics and all the numbers that he's been throwing? The 180 times Bloodbath, 360 times Bloodbath, Amethyst 540 times Bloodbath. Where is he getting all these numbers? Other than just kind of like saying them. I'd love to hear you out on this.
Is yes, but only if you're referring to Tidal Wave and levels harder than Tidal Wave. The difference between Bloodbath and Tidal Wave is greater than the difference between Bloodbath and Stereo Madness. The #1 player in the actual game of Geometry Dash, not the #1 ranked player, but the #1 Geometry Dash player, aka the player who has collected the most stars, is Mr. Spaghetti. With a total of 325,000 stars and with over 8,000 demon levels beaten, the hardest level they have ever beaten is Zodiac. This is how Zodiac compares to the hardest levels in the game. For reference, arguably the best player in the game currently, W Popoff, beat Zodiac in under a week. Speaking of which, the other best player in the game and most popular top player, Zoink, kickstarted his career by beating Zodiac as a jump from Bloodbath. Here's the difference between Bloodbath and Zodiac. Now, he had done achievements harder than Bloodbath, but in terms of actually completing a level, this was the jump and was at the time considered the largest jump in Geometry Dash history. Speaking of which, the biggest jump or progression skip that I could find in terms of actually completing 2 levels is by Hades, who jumped from 9 circles to Sukupen circles. Here's the difference between those two. And I don't know if we've gone over, but
at this point in honestly, at this point in the video, I'm like, why do we keep looking at these comparisons now? Am I crazy? I'm really starting to lean out in the video. Like, we've already gone over this.
Sukupen circles is a level basically as hard as Slaughterhouse. That means Hades went from
I'm not crazy about this chapter of the video.
beating an easy demon to a current top 20 demon, which was a top 10 demon at the time. Sukupen circles.
Yeah, this part of the video is definitely, the whole video up to this point, we've seen it,
actually had a couple of months where it was considered the hardest level in the game. It took Hades over a year and 670,000 attempts to make this monument.
I guess he does. I mean, he's titled the part crazy facts. I think this is just the part where he wants to share the crazy facts that he has observed, which I think is cool. That's fine.
Jump. Speaking of jumps, player Vision with over 800,000 attempts made a jump from Black Blizzard all the way to Silent Clubstep. Black Blizzard is in what I consider the hard stuff in terms of level difficulty, which means it's harder than Phobos, Bloodbath, but easier than Yatagarasu, Sonic Wave, and Bloodlust. Codependence is a 2-player extreme demon and the hardest one of its type in the game. Some people take on
Wait, where'd the one guy go that I was arguing with where I was trying to ask him to give me substantiated sources for how he came up with these numbers? Did he get scared off?
the task of beating it solo, basically controlling 2 different game modes with 2 completely different sets of obstacles intended for 2 different players to do all by themselves. It's essentially beating 2 completely different levels at the same time.
I'm looking, damn. Okay, I assumed you were looking for a timestamp.
These levels are hard enough to be an extreme demon on their own, yet people are crazy enough to do them at the same time. The whole entire experience is currently a
But other people in chat, right? Like these numbers are just made up, no? Am I crazy?
40 level, meaning this unreal challenge isn't even in the top 10, top 20, or top 30 hardest levels in the game. It took W Popoff 115,000 attempts in 3.5 months to beat the current top 1 Amethyst. This is after he beat Tidal Wave 3 times.
It's all subjective, and that's what I'm saying. Like he made the numbers up based on his subjective opinion.
Acheron over 11
Yeah, exactly.
times,
Rough
and
estimates.
Slaughterhouse over 100 times. Now we're going to compare Geometry Dash with other games.
Is Geometry Dash the hardest video game? No. Is it the game with the highest skill ceiling? Also no.
Popular game that is often compared to Geometry Dash are the max mode challenges of Five Nights at Freddy's.
I have never played Five Nights at Freddy's. I have no idea anything about this game. Yeah, now I'm starting to feel like we're kind of glazing Geometry Dash quite a bit. Like, don't get like, I like the game, bro. I think it's a hard game. I think it has a high skill ceiling. Let's not argue that it is the highest skill ceiling game ever made. I don't even understand why we're trying to argue that. Does that make you feel better?
So how hard is Hopeless Pursuit? Well, you could take
Whoa, what was that, bro?
Pretty much every FNAF challenge that I've ever done, and compared to HP, they mean literally nothing. FNAF Lock.
Wait, what's the max mode list?
Cut all challenges, 1 million fast rating in FNAF 6, 4 games at once.
Wait, go back.
They aren't even a speck compared to the monster of HP.
Oh. Dude, is that a mod or is that in the game? Like, what is happening with that? What is happening, bro?
This is because some prominent FNAF
No, that's canon?
players are also members of the GD community. It offers similar experiences of providing a challenge so hard and demanding that it breaks the player's mind, forcing them to spend thousands of attempts on a
It's supposed to distract you.
challenge. Although a
that
bit
makes
different
sense.
fundamentally, I wanted to know the difference between FNAF and
I don't know. Look, I've never played FNAF. As a completely ignorant dumbass of the game, I can't imagine FNAF being that difficult. I'm not saying that to rage bait, but like, yes, if we're comparing, these are just two different games in terms of gameplay. That's why it's so confusing to me to compare the difficulty of different games that have different core gameplay and different gameplay loops. Like, how do we... What? That's apples and oranges 101.
Max Mode and Geometry Dash, especially since its player base was intertwined. Now, if you don't know how hard FNAF Max Mode challenges are,
he clocked me.
Take a look at this video describing the second hardest challenge, or the top two, Hopeless Pursuit. In this same video, Bones created an even harder challenge than the current top one, FNAF Max Mode challenge, called Hopeless Greed. I noticed that one of the first victors of Hopeless Greed was also a really good Geometry Dash player, beating levels like Tartarus.
Like, there's so many.
Now, Hopeless Greed is a challenge that is harder than the top one, Ultimatum, with its victors commonly being able to beat Hopeless Pursuit, which is the top two, multiple times in a row. It's also stated that Ultimatum isn't all that much harder than Hopeless Pursuit. When asked which game is harder, Hadales.
Not really when you dive into the code of each franchise. Dude, I've given you so many chances. I'm just going to ban you. I think you're a pseudo-intellectual, bro. Best of luck with life. You seem like the most gatekeepy gamer guy ever. You are just a ride or die GD player, and that's fine, bro. But, like, you're just making up bullshit. I can't take it anymore. Good luck with life, bro.
I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Arguably the best FNAF Max Mode player responded with 2 words, GD harder. I'll put the top Max Mode level around Zodiac difficulty, as Hadales' hardest level is Tartarus, and
it's like saying Tetris is easy, but the skill ceiling of the speedrunning community is much bigger. Yeah, it makes sense.
Stated that Geometry Dash is the harder game, so I'm sure they were going off of their own personal experience. Freddy also stated that Ultimatum is around Shardscape's difficulty, and Shardscapes is a level that's harder than Bloodlust, but easier than Zodiac, and it's closer to Bloodlust than it is to Zodiac. So I think it checks out.
Dude, all these approximations are just like, yo, trust me, bro.
Out that Hopeless Greed, which is a top one, a decent chunk.
Which actually is okay. I think if at this point, this is him just getting into like, hey, in my opinion, these are my approximations for difficulty, I think that's fine.
Harder than Ultimatum is a little...
Like, if we're fully leaning into the fact that the rest of this video is just subjective and it's all about Mdog5's subjectivity, I think that's totally fair.
A bit closer to Zodiac, but probably not.
How else are you supposed to compare them, bro? That's why I would argue we shouldn't even be comparing them to begin with, because it doesn't make sense to.
Quite as hard. I also see people being able to beat max mode list levels after a year to a year and a half of grinding from 50-20, which 50-20 is kind of like a medium demon when compared to Geometry Dash's difficulty. I don't see anyone being able to go from medium demon to list demon
in a year to a year and a half. I don't care how good that player ends up being. For reference, Zoink and W.
That's fair because List Demon's like top 150, right? I feel like that's fair.
Popov have been playing the game for over 5 years. So I think Rocket League,
just freestyling difficulties at this point. Yeah.
skill ceiling is higher than the FNAF max mode list skill ceiling. So I'm going to put it around godlike in terms of the list that I made for Geometry Dash difficulty, which means that the upper limit of skill ceiling right now.
Some of you are just pretending like any of this, like the evidence based in this is in any way like substantiated by anything other than I feel like it's this, man. Like, do you guys read books? Do you guys read books at all? I don't think so. I think you just have an ego about the game you like to play.
Now for Rocket League would...
Thank you, Quinn. By the way, Quinn is one of my friends and he's also just generally good at video games. I trust his opinion.
Be somewhere around the difficulty of being able to beat Tartarus or the...
We shouldn't compare a lot of things, but people do because it's somewhat fun. That's what I'm saying. Like, if we are fully at this point accepting that this part of the video is just for fun, I can accept that. But there are some people in my chat who are just like, no, dude. No, dude, he's gotten his scholarly, cited his sources, and this is concrete fact. GD's a harder game. You're so cooked, I don't even know where to begin to help you to dig you out of the trenches, bro. Like, even Mdog5 is saying, like, hey, this is just how I kind of feel about it. And you're taking away this video as like, yes, we finally have the proof. We have years of information all conglomerated into one thing that we can use to pwn every other gamer.
The golden in Geometry Dash. Rocket League is considered one of the high.
If I were you, I'd stop watching the video because I just disagree with everything. Yeah, I kind of want to drop it at this point. I feel like it's kind of rage bait. And also, I haven't played FNAF max modes. I haven't played Rocket League enough. I haven't played Fortnite Apex Legends enough. I played Soul Games. I played chess. Should I watch current level placements? I'm kind of good on the rest of this video, man. I feel like I've gotten the value I wanted out of it. And like where I stand, I feel like the rest of this is just kind of like, I'm going to keep parroting my same opinion, which is like, why are we even talking about this? I feel like this is subjective and doesn't really matter. I do agree GD isn't the hardest game, but that doesn't make it easy. I hate when people say it's just memory and click patterns. If that was the case, people would beat Eternus already. And I do understand that perspective from GD players. I feel like sometimes people can write off GD, but do you understand from my perspective? I am not arguing for either side. I am saying that people should not diminish the accomplishments of GD players. If they play a different game and they're like, Geometry Dash isn't even that hard, they're an asshole. If you play Geometry Dash and then you look at other people who play other games and you're like, your game isn't even that hard, you are also the asshole. Does that make sense? I am saying that across the board, if you play one game and you think you are better than other gamers because of the one game you play, you are the asshole. Let's all enjoy our different games and appreciate that we get to play any games at all because people made games for us that we get to play. That being said, yeah, I don't really want to watch the rest of this video. I think I'm going to skip all these comparisons. I'm not too interested in that. If you're interested in the subjective opinions of these comparisons, that's fine. Watch the video. I'm just going to skip to current level placements and see if this is interesting. If it's not, I'm going to drop the rest of the video.
All right, so you guys made it to the end of the video. Now we're just going to be going over the official rankings of all the levels that we've gone over, just in case anybody's curious. And so obviously, if you're watching this like a year later, the rankings that will be displayed here is going to be totally inaccurate. Levels of swab.
People need to realize that how hard a game you play does not matter at all. Exactly, dude. Like, if you as a player are compelled to play a game because you like the game and you want to improve you want to improve your skill level at it, awesome. But don't attach your ego to a game that you chose to play. You're playing the game because you like it. You appreciate getting better at the game because you like it. It's valuable to you. You don't have to project that value onto other people. And guess what? Other people not understanding the value that you have towards the game and your skill in it does not diminish the value that you have in the skill you've developed for it. And I think that's where a lot of this gatekeepiness comes from. It comes from projected insecurity. It comes from maybe there was someone in another games community that was rude to you. And now you have this lock on your heart of like, well, someone in another game that I don't play was mean to me about the game I do play. So I'm going to be mean to other people who play. You know, no, you're just, you're perpetuating the cycle of miserability. So stop doing that.
There'll be levels in between. You know, the hardest level now isn't going to be the hardest level a year from now. So just keep that in mind. But if you're watching this
also, I think I'm also not too interested in this part because a lot of people in the chat as we watch the video already highlighted the difficulties of these levels. I think I'm good on this video. I think I've gotten the value. Mdog5, thank you for making the video. Obviously, like and subscribe. I think that this, honestly, as a history lesson in terms of top levels, I really appreciate this video. And I just, but again, Mdog5 offered up that this was, all of this stuff was opinion-based and based on how he feels about it. He said that multiple times in the video. So respect. If this is how he feels about it, cool. But the way I feel about it is we shouldn't even compare other games to begin with. I understand why this video has performed well because it attracted, as we've seen in the chat today, people who are super uppity about GD and they think that they're better than everybody because they play GD. And it also attracts people who are like, huh, I am curious, like, how do these difficulties measure up? But more accurately, I feel like this video is just like a history lesson on the skill progression in the game as you go up the ladder of difficulty. And I feel like that is the value I extracted as a viewer. The rest was just kind of tacked on, in my opinion. But I am appreciative for this first portion of it. I feel like that was very interesting to dive into, and I appreciate that. No, I think that other games are comparable in my opinion, but that's just me. That's great. So now we can all end. I've already gone on my individual diatribes. People in chat have gone on their diatribes. And we can end with a nice hearty agree to disagree. Agree to disagree. But yeah, thanks for the video, Mdog. I do think that that was worth our time, and I'm glad that I got to react to it. Ah. Chat, 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 chat. And now I can breathe again. Now I can frickin' breathe again. So I'm going to close this, close that, and I'm going to hop to this stream. Did y'all enjoy that today, chat? That was a long-ass video. I feel like we did pretty well. We 9 circling or ending? Bro, I think we're ending, dude. That was a marathon. I would love to play 9 circles, but holy cow. I'm ending on TikTok. Take care of yourselves. Peace out. Woo! We had some great conversation today. We had some great conversation, but holy cow, dude. That took a lot out of me. I'm going to be honest. I'm probably not going to edit this video too heavily. I'm probably just going to cut it and throw it up. I'm probably just going to cut it and throw it up, man. Holy cow. That was a lot. Well, we'll see what people on YouTube and Spotify think of the video. We'll see if they agree or disagree. But I think most level-headed people in chat kind of see where I'm coming from, and I appreciate y'all kind of seeing where I was coming from on all that. Yes, we are going to raid Quinn. He just went live. He's playing The Binding of Isaac. If you want a little more comfortable and less severe argumentative vibes as we experienced in this stream today, go. Quinn will take care of you. He has great yaps. He has great vibes. Please send him my love and support. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. Have a lovely weekend. And I will see y'all on Monday for more 9 circles. And probably another shorter react. Hope y'all enjoyed the stream. I think it was a W stream. I had a great time. And thanks, guys. Like, I'm really happy that we reacted to a nearly 2-hour video and everyone in chat was very engaged and was interacting the whole time. That's a good sign to me that y'all really enjoy it. And so I'm going to for sure keep on doing the reacts. Be sure to drop reacts that you think of in the Discord. I know sometimes when I'm reacting, people are just typing it in chat, but the best way to make sure that it's surfaced and we'll be doing it on stream is by going to the Discord and dropping it in the React to This Teej channel. Good night, good noon, wherever you are. Take care of yourselves. Have a great weekend. Do something nice for you. Take care of yourself. Genuinely.
Peace.